Hello, everybody, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here on this lovely, lovely Monday, our first Monday stream in God knows how long, probably a good 30 years if you catch my drift, but we are here for some Tales from the Loop Atari Twilight, and with me is our new cast for this. We'll start with a face you know and love, Mr. Bitters. Who are you, where's your beard, and who are you playing today?
I'm Mr. Bitters. I hate everything, and today I hated my beard, so it's in the trash can.
Perfect.
Today, I'll be playing Jerry Baker. He's kind of a dick, but, you know, who doesn't have a friend who's kind of a dick? Especially about, you know, your facial hair decisions.
We have you, so it's perfect.
Fair.
Speaking of having a dick, Frags, who are you? What are you doing here, and who are you playing today?
Okay, we'll run with that. I am Kennedy Franks, and I will be playing Robbo Ott. He's kind of weird. The people aren't sure why they're friends with him, but he gets along with everybody.
The best part is before the stream you said, hey, my computer keeps crashing, and for a second I was like, no. And then I remembered.
Then you remembered, yes.
Yeah.
Rob isn't wanted by a lot of people, but these people accept him.
Perfect.
Hey, your tabletop audio is covering Greg, just so you know.
Oh, why? Boop.
I don't know. Just
Professional
I thought that was just
streamer.
random. Like I was for like this whole time. I'm trying to figure out like where's the damn X on this thing.
I'm a
I thought so
professional-
too. I was like,
Guys, I haven't streamed tabletop in like a whole month. So thanks for pointing that out, Haley. Speaking of which, Haley, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And who are you playing today?
Hi, I'm Haley. I'm on the internet as the great Haley. I was gonna keep waving like the entire time, just because
You should, the whole 3 hours.
Just 3 hours. Just the hand just controls itself. But I am the great Haley on the internet. I'm a variety caster. Yeah, you can find me as the great Haley on all social medias. And today I am playing Sam Kirkshaw, the cute, popular kid that everybody wants to know. We're gonna go with that. Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Definitely not addicted to Coke.
Yeah, definitely not addicted to Coke.
Definitely not addicted to Coke, and her parents don't sell cocaine. All right,
Yeah, for sure.
Don't worry about it.
Speaking of being popular and definitely not being addicted to Coke, Mike, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And who are you playing today?
So I'm Mike the Anonymous Rhino. I'm on Twitter at Baloney Slap. I am playing George Butts. He is also a popular kid, and he's friends with all the girls in school. You know, he's just really good at talking to girls, like amazing at it.
Like
He has
the
so many
best,
girls.
would you say?
Yeah,
Perfect. That's what I like to hear. So before we hand things over to Greg to explain to us what the hell this is and what's happening here, first of all, I am Mike. I am playing Casey Mitchell, a.k.a. Mitch. He is a white trash, middle America kind of guy, and he likes robots and fixing cars and America. So with that, Greg, who are you? Where can we find you? And tell us about Tales from the Loop.
Well, my name is Greg. I'm Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters, making my triumphant return to unMadeGaming, as we are going to be doing a little bit of Free League's Tales from the Loop. Now, for those of you just joining us, Tales from the Loop is an RPG system that takes place in the 1980s, but it's not the 1980s from our historical records or our nostalgia. It is the 1980s that never was, as many of the things are similar. Same pop culture references, same music, same movies, same world events were still prevalent and still documented, but add to that a very sci-fi feel, as instead of kind of pissing away the 50s and 60s, the world kind of got together and made robots and a technology that kind of superseded the way that our history actually played out. And so if you want to think about it, it's our 1980s in maybe the best possible timeline, where things are still screwed up. You know, there's still many of the same problems that kids dealt with in the 1980s, but there is a promise more so than there was in the real 80s that there was a hope for humanity, because there was a depicted past of humans working together to create the technology that you see. I will introduce that slowly, as we have basically floating semi-trailer trucks. We have robots that kind of do a lot of the maintenance work that was usually regulated or relegated to humans during the time. I will introduce that nice and slow. But the number one thing here is, despite all of the tech, despite all of the robots, it's all about the 80s. It's all about the kids. It's all about the music, which I will also say, for those of you watching on YouTube, hopefully Mike will link up to the Spotify playlist that includes all of these wonderful players, characters, songs in it, plus a couple that add a little bit of flavor to this particular episode. But we're going to go in for a tutorial episode, if you will, of Tales from the Loop that will help you, the viewer, get a feel for the Free League Tales from the Loop system, and for us as player and GM to make sure we're doing it at least partially right. And so as we drill into all of that, if you have your Spotify playlist up, I would suggest putting on a little cutting crew right now, as One for the Mockingbird bleeds us in. And so as we drift into the city of Garrett in the Appalachian Mountains, we see a small town from the 1980s. We see the cars, the people, the dress, the hair. And while there is that bit of Americana that kind of encapsulates the main street of Garrett, we travel a little bit west to what would be considered the other side of the tracks, as middle-class homes bleed away to lower-class homes, bleed away to a trailer park. And there, in the Tradewinds trailer park, a door swings open. And the NPC that I control, Ben McKenzie, pops out. And as Ben pops out, he kind of adjusts the fatigue jacket that he is wearing. It's an olive drab jacket that bears the name McKenzie on the side. It's too big for a child of 12, but he wears it with the sleeves rolled up, tucked in and pinned in different areas. And as he turns, he slowly closes the trailer park door, or the trailer door, and he goes down and he gets a battered gray bike, swings a pack over the front handlebars, and as he takes over the back, he pulls open the pack, and inside is an almost ancient cassette player. He throws in a tape, which conveniently says Ben's mixtape, pushes it down, hits play, and the cutting crew guides his way. And so as he begins to pedal, going through the rest of the trailer park, he spins down a familiar path as the gravel and dirt road leads him towards another trailer in this court, the trailer of his friend Mitch. And as he rides by, he lifts a hand knowing that Mitch will be ready. And Ben, his hair too long for a boy of 1980s, tucks it back behind his ears. And though he looks timid, he smiles knowing that his friend will soon join him. And so as the bike descends upon the trailer of Mitch, Mike, who do we see?
We see Mitch. Mitch is a 13-year-old boy. He has that sweet, sweet Heather Locklear hair that everyone wanted, or that Farrah Fawcett hair, depending on what you're looking at. He has a jean jacket torn at the sleeves, and he is wearing some kind of super rad t-shirt. And he quickly sees the wave, and he begins to haul out of the living room, because that's really the only room in the house, his bicycle. It's a solid 1-speed, as it was. On the front of which there are on the back of which there are 2 pegs, and there are a bunch of like shoddily spot welded pieces of things that just connect to other things on the bike. As if he was practicing with a spot welder that he's far too young to be using and barely has any comprehension of how. There's holes that go through the frame. There's just pieces of like parts of cars that just sort of like wrap around to pieces of the bike. But he thinks it looks super cool. And he begins to pedal still on the front porch, if you can call it a porch, and begins to race towards his friend Ben.
And so as the music reaches a crescendo coming from the hastily slung sack across the handlebars of Ben, Mitch joins him, and as they drop into the appropriate formation of 2 kids riding their bikes, they climb out of the hill of the Tradewinds trailer park and they begin to head down the street into the heart of Garrett proper. And to their left is the Red Oaks Bowling Alley. It is a site where several of their parents go to meet in the weekly bowling league. It is right now Friday evening, and on a Friday evening, the bowling alley is packed, as many of the parents have left kids with babysitters or to their own devices, as Ben and Mitch are. And with the packed area, they slide and kind of go around the corner and begin heading up the drive. And as they head up the drive a bit further, they come across a 3/4 of an acre offset from the road. The lawn, if you'll call it that, is rough and unkept. The brick house is sturdy but showing wear, and the shutters are in a desperate need of painting. As they pull up in front of the house of Jerry, knowing that their friend will join their formation, and as Ben, just as he did with Mitch, lifts his hand to wave, he does not yet see his friend, but they begin to travel up the driveway, hoping to catch him before he descends. Bitters, what's Jerry like?
Well, I think Jerry makes his exit from the house, the screen door just slamming behind him. There's an indistinct shout from inside the house, and he just yells back, "I'll be back later." Jerry, he would have been a fat kid maybe earlier in the year. He just had a growth spurt, so he's kind of gangly and awkward as he moves. And he's still quite stocky. Round face, greasy brown mullet. He's always wearing a rumpled plaid red and black jacket. And the knees are blown out of his jeans. His shoes are ratty. But seeing his friends approach, he had left the house. And he picks up his bike off the lawn, which is just stripped down and primed. If you look closely, you'd see the serial number filed off. And as he starts to pedal, you can hear the bicycle card or the baseball card he's got between his spokes. He goes to join his friends.
So as the cutting crew reaches a bit of a crescendo, having not been taped once and not on repeat, as the technology of CDs has not yet been invented, Ben, thinking ahead and knowing what his favorite song is, and as this is, of course, a montage to gather all of his friends together, he has taped the song several times off the radio. So even though it's introed and outroed with various DJs of the Garrett, Maryland area, it's only brief, as a spattering of a temperature that's dropped away 2 or 3 weeks ago, or a sports score that ended in April. The cutting crew plays again and again and again, as this is the traveling music of Ben McKenzie, and he has picked up his buddy Jerry as they all drop into formation and head further into Garrett, Maryland proper. And as they drop through and start going through, they pass the Acme Market. And as the Red Oaks Bowling Alley was packed on a Friday evening, the Acme Market is just as vacant, because this is a chore best left for the afternoons or mornings of the weekend. Certainly not something for an adult to waste their time with on a Friday evening. And as they pass through the market or by the Acme Market, that almost acts as a line of demarcation between the poor side of the town and the middle class side of the town. And as these three decidedly poor kids leave their world for another, the houses become less shabby. They have a distinctly rancher appeal, a split level here. The cars seem to be better kept. The lawns are a little bit more maintained. But as soon as they continue through, they get to another middle class area where the grass is too long, the weeds are too high, and it becomes a bit of an anomaly where it would have fit right in on the other side of the market. But they pull up in front of the house of their friend Rob. And as Ben again waves his hand in an indication, not necessarily of having seen Rob, but it seems a force of habit, as the timid boy is just happy to have yet another member potentially of their party joining them. Frags, tell us about Rob.
Rob's already sitting on the front porch. He's sitting there waiting. He knows his friends are going to be there, so he's just kind of fidgeting, sitting on the stoop. When he sees them, he starts running to him and then realizes he forgot something, so he runs back to the porch and grabs his bike. It's a weird color of rust and neglect. It was his dad's old bike, so it's a little beach cruisery looking thing from the 50s or 60s, whatever. And he gets on it, he starts rolling it, and he stops and goes, no. And he turns around and runs back in the house, and he comes back out, almost trips over his feet down the stairs, and this kid's got long gangly arms. He's skinny fat. He's not super tall, but for a 12-year-old, he could almost be mistaken for a 15-year-old. That's how he likes to see it. And but when he comes out of the house, he's got this helmet on, and it's got a visor, and it's got a Autobot symbol on it, and then the visor's pulled up to his head. He's like, oh, proceed. And he gets on the bike and starts kind of rolling.
So as they all jump in, and as if on cue for our Spotify people watching, Stan Bush replaces the soundtrack of The Cutting Crew as Mitch, knowing this song and loving this song, and of course, with the Optimus Prime helmet in full view, Rob hears the sound that bedazzled all kids earlier this year of 1987 as the touch begins to play, and Stan Bush carries them the rest of their way through Garrett. And as we pan back a bit, and as the four have now taken their appropriate formation, and as they cut down through the streets of Garrett, in the background, where maybe in the 80s there would be regular windmills that sat along this high ridge, catching the perpetual breeze and creating the energy that was needed of the day. Now these windmills were controlled by, instead of stationary harnesses, 4 appendaged robots. As if one were to look, these massive structures that sat along the horizon would slowly shift, adjusting their turbine heads and fans towards the wind, as these great, almost Godzilla-like creatures, these structures, would turn slowly like sunflowers, catching not the rays of the sun, but the gusts of the breeze that would generate the energy for Garrett and other places in the surrounding area. And off further into the north, drifting lazily towards the sunset, or in the sunset light of Garrett, several of the large mag ships that were held aloft by the powerful magnets that use the Earth's own magnetic field to keep them up, drifted over the hills, drifted over the trees, not needing roads where they were going. Doc Brown would be proud. And as they continued by, the 4 kids passed and started to crawl down into the heart of Garrett, towards their ultimate destination, the Maplehurst Mall, but more precisely, the AMC theaters at the Maplehurst Mall. Because you see, tonight is June 12th, 1987. It is a Friday, and the movie Predator is being shown for the first time. Now, for those of you that are unaware, these kids are definitely under the age of 16 and cannot get in to see a rated R movie, but that has not stopped any of the 4, as they have decided this is a mission. Predator must be seen. It must be seen tonight, and they will stop at nothing to see some Schwarzenegger. But as they are passing and as they are going down, they pass one of their most frequented haunts, the Paperback Exchange. It is a haven of comic book goodness, of pre-read and pre-printed pulp fantasies, and of a decidedly marijuana-laced hippie that owns it in the name of Miss Maggie. But Miss Maggie's off at 4 o'clock, and her assistant Gary is now out front. Gary is 18 years old. He sings rock and roll in the bars on the weekends. And as he is sitting there wearing a Spider-Man t-shirt, he sees the approach of the 4 riders. And as the 4 riders get closer to his proximity, he raises his hand to his mouth and he says, "Batman Year 2 starts in Detective 575 this Tuesday," as he goes by, yelling to the 4 that, in fact, there is a new Batman tale coming to the Paperback Exchange. And if anybody so decides to respond to Gary, you may do so.
Batman sucks.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Not at all.
Shut up, Jerry. I like that guy. And Batman, you suck.
That's not what your mom said.
Yes, it is. She said that Jerry kid sucks. I don't know why you hang out with him.
No, that's probably true.
So, as you all get to just past the paperback exchange, the one and only access point into the Maplehurst Mall, as it has just been built, and they are currently cutting a secondary road up to the mall. It is a 4-lane, 2 in, 2 out. And as soon as you enter and start climbing the grade to the mall proper, you pass the last residential house on the block. The only one that didn't sell out to the Maplehurst Mall Company. It is the house, a small brick structure that is meticulously maintained. All the flowers are perfect, the lawn is perfect, and there is a flagpole that is up front with a very large, well-maintained American flag. An older gentleman is coming out, and you see him begin to make the moves to lower the flag. As it is nighttime, there is no light on this flag, so it must be brought down and stowed until sun can hit it in the morning. And without warning, Ben heads over in that direction and parks his bike. The other three, you guys have seen this before. Ben is a friend of this man. He calls him the Sarge. His name is Herb Seville, and he is a World War II vet, and he served with the grandfather of Ben, who is deceased. But Ben parks his bike, throws the kickstand out, and runs down, and as soon as he gets within a close proximity of the flag, Herb turns and looks at him, and as the Sarge smiles, Ben stands perfect attention and snaps a salute as the flag begins to lower. What did the other three of you do?
I think Mitch pedals for a second and then realizes that this is happening again, and then you hear that telltale that of the bike's back tire screeching on the asphalt as he kind of spins the bike and turns towards the kid. Him not really having the same connection or affinity, he just sort of stops, puts one leg down, and leans on the handlebars and waits for Ben, knowing that he's not going to stop until the flag is fully dropped.
And Jerry and Rob?
I think Jerry does something relatively similar. He probably wasn't going as fast as the others. He's pretty bulky. So he doesn't skid on the pavement, but he does stop and tries to lean on the handlebars and can't quite get comfortable. And then looks at Rob, waiting for Rob to say or do something wrong so he can pick on him because he's bored.
Rob's gonna be standing there, and he's gonna put his hand over his heart, just not knowing what to do, and just kind of stand there hoping that something happens so he can stop looking and feeling weird.
And I'll leave it with this. As Rob is trying to stand there with his hand over his heart, not to feel weird, Jerry, is there anything you want to say to Rob as he has walked into your trap?
I mean, no, he's just going to slap him in the back of the helmet and shake his head.
With the slap on the back of the head, a pre-programmed roll out comes out as he's standing there. And
the helmet's got a little built-in mic too, so you can change your own voice. So when he hits it, the visor flips down and the mic's in front of his face, and all you hear is "Respect the flag," and he pops it back up. Chill.
I'm living my best life right now.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is awesome. We lost Greg.
1 second, guys, lost my headphones.
That's all right.
That is beautiful.
Respect the flag.
I love it.
All right, guys. While Greg is fixing his headphones, I will take this time to plug your holes. This is I just found out recently it's September something. If you gift subs, they're $1 or something like that. I wasn't really reading
It's
it.
$1 to follow on the next month.
There you go.
Yeah. So
gifts,
if you've been gifted one, you can choose to continue the subscription on your subscription tab under settings.
See, these people know more than I do because they are streamers, and
I do this for a living.
one's Mike. We've been blessed with a sponsor. So if you guys want sweet dice, a friend of mine makes her and her husband make the Dice of Rolling, which is a custom set of dice for D&D 5e. They are color coded, and there are a plethora of dice for the different kinds of spells. And if you use coupon code UMG in the store, you get a discount, and we make money, which is nice because it helps us do more cool stuff like all this dope artwork that we just commissioned for this stream, which is super awesome. Also, there's still donations down below where you guys can donate to affect the game, Nat 1s, Nat 20s, or the equivalent of this game, and all kinds of cool, fun stuff that we'll torture Greg with later. Greg, you back?
Is there a link for that?
There is.
I'm back.
Boop.
Greg's back. Yay.
All right, Greg, you can take it away.
Sure, absolutely. So as the rollout comes out of the helmet, as it gets smacked in the back of the head, and as everybody kind of sits there either humoring Ben or, in Rob's case, trying to do what he believes to be right with the hand over the heart and helping their friend, we pull away from the 4 kids on bikes, and we instead go to the 2 sisters in a Volkswagen Rabbit. And as the Volkswagen Rabbit, which is a convertible, it is very sweet. It is a little off-white number, and it's got that kind of the cream-colored leather seats that are inside. The top is down. The 2 sisters are driving, and they are accompanied by none other than Pat Benatar playing her song Invincible. So cue that up if you have it, kids. And as Invincible begins to play, we see Sam. And Haley, who is Sam?
Like I said earlier, Sam is the cutest girl. It's just everybody wants to know. No, that's really her sister. Everybody just idolizes this woman, Veronica Kirkshaw. She is just every boy's dream girl, and every girl just wants to be her. Even Sam. Sam aspires to be as loved as this girl is, but Sam herself is just sweet and is trying to be the best that she can be in what she assumes is the best.
Okay, so as you sit beside this idol, this iconic person in the history of Garrett, Maryland, at every stoplight, every stop sign, Veronica, your sister, is looking in the mirror as she fixes her crimped hair and as she adjusts and leans forward, checking her lipstick, doing everything to make sure that she's perfect. And at none of these stop signs and stoplights in the very plush neighborhoods of Garrett, Maryland. And as you sit there and wait in your very recognizable Volkswagen Rabbit, there are honks and screams of Veronica as a car drives by, and she casually answers those that she deems worthy of a wave, ignores those that she feels don't deserve her attention. And as she takes both you and Pat Benatar for a bit of a ride in Garrett, Maryland, you go into the upscale neighborhoods and you pull in front of a very nice house. There is a irritated honk of the horn as she is calling for George to join them in the car. Explain George, my friend.
Sure. So George, you see him come out.
Explain George.
He's got his hair is like somewhat slicked back, but really he's more the flock of the seagulls thing. Like a pretty tight sides here, if not if not shaved. And he's wearing his sunglasses. It's already like sundown, right? But he's still wearing his Ray-Bans. I would wear them, but they're polarized and I can't see my screen, so it's a pain in the ass. But you see him, he comes out, he's wearing 2 popped collars and a members only jacket on top of that. It's pink, it's that light pink members only jacket, and he's wearing tight Levi's. Like he's doing the 80s butt in those. And yeah, he just kind of strolls up, and then when he gets up there, he's like, "Hey," and he kind of like uses his pocket comb and just, just gets it going. And
Sam
then
is rolling her eyes like so hard at the comb thing.
yeah. Hey, Veronica. Hey.
Get in the car.
Yeah. Okay.
You like trying to do the lean?
Yeah.
On the mirror. Hey, Veronica.
It like catches in, like the mirror gets in his shirt as he like tries to walk away. But yeah, he gets in the back seat. I'm sure he's riding.
He does the.
And he's gonna ride in the middle of the back.
Okay, so as you jump into the middle of the back seat of the Rabbit, your face in full view in the rear view mirror of Veronica, she looks and you can see her eyes reflected back at your eyes, and she immediately grabs the mirror and twists it to a point of ineffectiveness for vehicular travel, but it will no longer reflect your image back to her as she is driving, and she begins to pull out of the driveway using
hard to
just
look at
side.
a piece of artwork all day long, honey. I understand.
And as she pulls out, she immediately switches the tape, and you hear Heart begin to play as Who Will You Run To takes the place of Pat Benatar. She backs out, continues down through the town of Garrett, where you guys are able to see the hobby shop. You pass by Edgar Allan Poe Middle School. In the distance, you can see Braddock High School, and at the lower end of the field, you can see Washington Elementary. And as you pull into the Maplehurst Mall's only artery, you see, as you're driving by, 4 kids from your class, 2 of them on their bikes, one of them with a hand over their heart, and one of them standing at attention as a flag is being lowered by an old man in a decent house, if not small. That's beyond your attention as Veronica hits the gas. You climb up the side of the hill. She throws you into a parking spot and immediately turns to her sister, ignoring George, and says, "Get out."
Thanks for the ride.
Hey, so can
Get
I
out.
just stop by later, Veronica? Just chill.
Tell your friend to get out.
Come on, Georgie, let's go.
And he scoots on over.
Yeah, she gets out of the car.
Yep.
As soon as you guys are out, and as soon as the door catches, they're not even sure if it's locked or shut all the way. The Rabbit peels out as the sounds of Heart are taken from you, as Veronica has someplace else she needs to be. But as you guys turn around, you see that the entrance to the Maplehurst Mall before you leads directly into the AMC 6 theaters. And inside is Predator. And why are you guys here to see Predator?
Well, my
Sam?
good friend Sammy just has this thing where she just has, she has to be weird. It's entertaining to her. So, she has her vices. So I support her. It's better than an old habit she had.
What about you, George? Are you there not to watch Predator? Are you just there to
Moral support,
Sam can't see horror movies on her own, so.
And plus, Sam's like, dude, chicks dig horror movies. They like get all cuddly with you, so he's in it for that.
Oh yeah.
But they're still friends
He's hoping for that hand squeeze.
until they aren't friends, until it goes,
We can sit by some like cute girls or something, and they might jump into your arms. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anything
If
can
one was sitting
happen.
right next to me or something, Gosh.
So Sam, was
She
that
kind of
how-
walks away.
Sam, was that how you sold it to George to go see the Predator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Was that there's the possibility that there might be some scared hand holding, or
Oh,
did
yeah.
George just volunteer? You may both answer in whatever way you viewed it as your kids would view it.
I feel like Sam probably would have tried to like
You twisted
beg
my
you
arm
a little bit, like, come on, Georgie,
Yeah.
let's go see it. Like, it'll be great.
I was guilted into it.
You get to hang out with me, and there's like the chance that maybe some girl might touch you. Like,
He's in at that point. He was already in. So
Right. You had him there. Okay, so you guys are looking at the entrance to the Maplehurst Mall at the AMC 6 theaters. And it's at that time, as soon as Veronica drives away, that you see several people from both the 8th grade, 9th, and 10th grade, as there are 4 kids leaning up against the blind side of the theater, or the blind side of the mall, over by the what would be considered the refuse is, where all of the trash is taken out, all the dumpsters are. You see a kid named that is called Nee. His real name's Barney. He's 15 years old. A boy named Chris, who's 14. A boy named Dutch, who is 13, and a boy named Shannon, who is 16. You know that all of these kids are from the wrong side of the market, and they are best to be avoided, as probably your parents have already kind of shied you away from this particular quartet. But they don't seem to be paying you any mind.
Yeah, no, definitely trying to avoid them. Kind of like glances, and kind of makes a face of disgust. Essentially, it's like, let's go before they see us. I don't want to attract attention.
And George kind of tugs his jacket a bit, kind of get a little bit more stern.
Sam will kind of take your arm to kind of rush to the booth to get away.
Okay, so you guys are able to make it into the mall. You don't seem to draw the eye or the ire of any of the boys outside. And as you walk into the mall proper, you see just across your entrance is the ticketing booth for the AMC 6 theaters. Now, currently playing beyond Predator are the following movies: Benji the Hunted, The Witches of Eastwick, Ernest Goes to Camp, The Chipmunk Adventure, and the famous Ishtar. All of those movies, with the exception of The Witches of Eastwick and Ishtar, are rated PG or G. Predator, the one that you want to see, is rated R. So you, George and Sam, how are you getting tickets to see Predator?
So, who is currently working the booth?
There are 2 people working the booth. There is a boy and a girl. The boy's name is Paul. The girl's name is Mary. You know them both. They are in high school at Braddock. Beyond that, though, you don't know them real well, and you're not sure that Veronica would associate with either of them. So you're not sure if relationship to sister is a blessing or a curse, because if they would know Veronica, they'd probably know your age as well. But you don't think that your sister knows either of these 2.
Okay.
You said the girl's name was Mary?
Correct.
Is she cute enough?
Define cute enough.
You're making this hard, but well, that helps too. No.
Well, okay, let me tell you this.
She doesn't have a ton of acne, no braces, no crimped hair, super bad crimped hair.
Whenever faced with this decision, whenever faced with this question, I always just reference an 80s actor or actress when describing them. And since this is our first episode, I can only think that I have to go with the John Hughes library of people. We will say that Mary looks like a young Ali Sheedy, and Peter, or Paul, wherever I said his name was, looks like a young Anthony Michael Hall.
Ali Sheedy's cute enough.
I was gonna say, dude, I just googled her. Yeah, that's cute enough.
Ali Sheedy's still cute enough.
Yeah. Well, I've seen this one picture where she's got a wonky eye, but I'll let it slide. All right. So Sam, and I am friends with all the girls. Just saying. Do you think you can charm? I don't know his name. I don't pay attention to you guys, but
Paul.
Paul. I guess he has a name tag. Or do you want me to, do my magic to marry her?
Do you think that you can handle Mary?
I don't think she can handle me.
Oh, okay. I kind of want to see that in action.
Wield.
All right. So yeah, I will approach Mary, and I will be like hot shit, you know. No, wait, oh, man, we didn't discuss this ahead of time. I should have asked this question. I didn't think to. Is if we actually try to buy Predator tickets, or if we buy other tickets and sneak in. But I think I'm going to go for the Predator tickets. So I approach her.
I was going to say you're not close enough where it would be obvious that you're wheeling back around. It's pretty crowded.
Yeah.
So you could wheel back around and discuss this with Sam if you wanted to.
No, he's confident enough. He's going to do it.
Sam kind of like steps far enough back that it's not seen that they were together, but close enough that she could like watch what's happening.
Okay, so you wait your appointed time in line. There's a couple in front of you going to see the Witches of Eastwick. There is a mother taking 2 children to see Benji the Hunted. And as it gets up to you, Mary turns and looks. There doesn't seem to be anything other than, why am I here on a Friday night? Look in her eyes. There is no interest beyond, my God, why isn't it 11 o'clock yet? As she says, what are you going to see?
Well, I would like to go and see Predator, but, you know. But, yeah. Small problem. I think something we can work out amongst friends. You know, I just want to get 2 tickets of Predator. Everybody's gonna be talking about it. I don't want to be that kid. And you know, what can I do for you?
What can you do for me? There's a line behind you, and no one's noticed that there is actual banter beyond, here's my ticket, here's my money. But you can get that feeling where it's like, when you're in the line at Subway and somebody has just ordered something or is upset with something, and you're like, oh, Jesus. And you realize you're not getting your meal in the appropriate amount of time. You can feel that tension building behind you in your line, George, as he says, what can you do for me?
No, I mean, how much does it cost for, you know, 2 Predator tickets, you know?
$6.
Okay, here's 12.
Are you 16?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask you for our first roll of the session, as I am going to see if you would like to charm this girl. Or if you have something else you'd like to pull out, I will see if...
Are you 16?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I think you like looked back.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
16?
Sam's back there like, yes.
Are we going with 16 or 16? Okay.
Was there a question mark on the end of that?
Yeah, I don't know if I pull up the pocket comb to, you know, like...
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Yes, I am.
Alrighty, so let's get that charm roll in.
Okay, so I'm gonna do can I use my iconic item, or?
What's your iconic item?
It's the pocket comb.
And what's that give you? Is it +2 charm?
Yeah, +2 to charm. Which are
Absolutely. Add those dice in as George whips out the comb and the charm.
Yeah, but we need dice. Did I? Yeah. So
Looks
I got
like
2
it,
successes.
So with 2 successes, she looks at you, and that is exactly what you needed to convince this Mary, this young Ali Sheedy, that you are in fact 16, and really, she doesn't give a shit. And as you give her the money, she prints out the 2 tickets, pushes them towards you, and says, enjoy your movie. And you have 2 tickets to Predator.
Thank you. I like your smile. I mean, walks away.
I like your smile.
She kind of gives you a side eye through the glass as you walk off, like,
You have straight teeth. And he just walks away. He just starts scuttling away.
okay, you got it. You may make your way back to Sam now.
And I cool my shit down. I get up to her, I get a little bit more of a stride in there, and in my members only jacket, I just kind of
I cool my shit down.
and like I do like the little scissor thing with the tickets. Yeah, exactly. So you want to go see Predator, right?
Sam's like ecstatic. She's like, I really didn't think that was gonna work. I mean, I totally had faith in you the entire time. And she takes like a ticket from you.
You just trying to be humble.
All right, so you are able to walk back to the person that tears your tickets. There's a brief moment where he looks at you, looks at Sam, realizes he too doesn't give a shit, tears the tickets, hands them back to you as you are now past the last guard to get into the theater. You have the concession stand open to you, and of course, the Arnold Schwarzenegger classic Predator, which is being shown in Theater 6.
Yeah, so
And
this
as we-
movie, you get like large buckets of popcorn and everything. Yeah, we go all out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the last question I'm going to ask before I leave is, Haley, Sam, is she trying to be overt that she's there, she's seeing Predator? Because this is a very, it's the only theater in town, so it's popular to the point where you're definitely going to see somebody from school here. You're definitely going to see at least a parent here, not yours, but potentially a parent of a friend going here, as this is one of the only entertainment hubs in Garrett. So you will be recognized. Is this something that Sam would want going into Predator, a decidedly geeky movie, unless you're trying to spin it as a horror movie?
So she's definitely, now that they're inside, she's still grabbing George's arm and kind of like hiding her face like purposefully into him to kind of keep herself hidden from people and to appear like as coupley so people won't like question like who she is and whatnot.
Okay, so you're going a little incognito here. You're
A little
trying
bit,
to
yeah.
yeah. All right. So you guys are able to concession up, get yourselves into the theater, and that's where we will pick back up with the two of you as we now cut down to the lawn of Sarge as the Old Glory is brought in for the evening, and Sarge turns towards Rob and Ben. He's not dismissive of Mitch and Jerry, but he recognizes that Rob and Ben tried to show some respect, and he says, "Hey, good night, boys. Be careful with yourselves out there, riding those bikes at dark. None of you can see. You're gonna get hit." He starts to make his way in there, inside, taking the flag with him. You guys now have the ascent up into Maplehurst Mall, and should you desire, you can make it all the way to the AMC 6 theaters.
Man, I know you're friends with the old guy, but like, if we're gonna be late,
you can't go by when they're putting the flag away, Mitch. You gotta stand for the flag.
yeah, but does the flag know that it's Predator night?
We still married to the fact that we're going to see Predator.
Yeah.
Of course.
You want to see Witches of Eastwick?
No. Ernest goes to camp.
I sort of agree with Rob. I mean, if we get caught, we're gonna get kicked out of the theater, and we won't be able to see anything.
We're gonna get kicked out of the theater.
I mean, I don't mean to be Jerry, but
I'm not worried about being caught.
we know why you don't want to go. I can't take it from sad frags. No, we have to. If we go to school on Monday and no one, wait, it's summer. If we go back to school in September and we haven't seen this movie yet, no one's going to talk to us more than normal.
I'll do whatever you guys want to do.
And
whatever.
I've seen the trailer, and there's a lot of army guys in it. So,
Man.
I can't help but feel like this movie holds the future of American politics.
It's a bold statement, Jerry.
How do you think we should proceed on getting in our tickets for the movie?
I'm not gonna lie, guys, I didn't get that far. I was hoping that we could get there and then get behind the movie theater and then wait for someone to leave through like the back door and we could just sneak in. But I think now, and he points to the flagpole, I think that we missed that chance. So what if we glue a beard on Jerry?
Dick.
I don't think that's but let's do that.
We're not gluing a beard on me. What about that guy you're always hanging out with, Mitch?
I don't think that we
Get
can
him to buy us tickets.
I don't think we can get back to Garrett Auto and then all the way back to here before the movie starts. We have like, and he like pulls up his Transformers watch, which is clearly it's Optimus Prime, and his arms are the clock. He says we only have like 15 minutes. What if you go up there and you ask for it? And he looks to Jerry.
I'll get you all tickets. But you're buying mine,
But
and I want popcorn.
Mitch turns to the side of his bike, and you can see him rummaging through something, and then you can hear that sound of like shh, 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 of like dollar bills. Small.
Deal.
Done. And he puts the wallet back in. Let's do it.
Okay, so as you guys ride up the hill, which is it's very steep. So as you're kind of pumping to get to the top of the hill or walking your bikes or whatever it takes to get up there, you are almost driven or ridden over by a Volkswagen Rabbit that is absolutely hauling ass back down the road past the Sarge's house. You hear the blaring of heart as this car goes by. A few of you would probably recognize this as Veronica. She is well known for being extremely attractive and popular. Not sure if that attracts any of your eyes, but this is definitely, it's almost like she's driving the Batmobile. Everybody knows that Volkswagen Rabbit belongs to Veronica. You guys were almost run over by it. She doesn't slow at all as she drives by. And you guys make it to the top of the hill. And there is the AMC 6 theaters.
Okay, so like you go up and then we'll hide over here because if we all go, then it'll look bad.
Yeah, one of you guys is gonna blow it.
Right.
Just, I'll go get tickets.
Okay.
You stay here.
Here. And he hands you $6.
Yeah, Jerry just holds out his hand for everyone's money.
Ben gives you $3, but a good $2.50 of it is in various forms of nickels, quarters, and dimes.
Oh my God, this is gonna make it way harder.
That's all I have. I'll trade somebody for paper if you have it.
No.
Yeah, we can use this for the popcorn inside. We just gotta get inside. And he takes out the other $3 and scoops the change into his hand, and hands him the other $2 in change as he's holding a pocket full of change. Just go, hurry up.
Rob's gonna reach down and unfold his sock all the way down because he's wearing his socks underneath his jeans come up to his knees. So he rolls it down very meticulously, just one at a time. You know, this takes a good solid 20 seconds of him rolling his sock down. And he pulls out a $5 bill. Please give me my change.
Fine. You're lucky I don't charge you for the time it took you to ask for it.
And then he's going to start rolling his sock back up just a slap.
Okay, so where's Rob, Mitch, presumably Ben, waiting while Jerry goes in to get the tickets?
But you know how there's concrete pillars as you walk some movie theaters, you know, it's kind of like a front area That's not. Yeah, I feel like we're just kind of hanging out by the pillars, just trying to be inconspicuous.
Right. Like still outside, parked by the bikes, just kind of hanging
just
out. Right.
Not trying to draw any attention to ourselves, but at the same time, looking very suspicious as three kids just hanging out in the parking lot of a movie theater.
Right. Somebody wearing a Optimus Prime helmet. It just kind of screams, "Why are we doing this?"
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so Jerry, you go ahead and walk inside, and as you are, 10, 15 feet, and the door closes, Rob, Mitch, and Ben here. Hey, dick face, nice helmet.
Rob's gonna go. Thank you.
And from around the corner where the dumpsters are, you see Barney and Chris and Dutch and Shannon kind of variously snuff out these cigarettes and come around the corner as Dutch, who is the one that is talking, says, "What kind of fucking helmet is that? Is that like a fucking robot or something?"
He's gonna look around, expecting Jerry to be there to have his back, but he forgot Jerry's getting the tickets. So he's gonna look at Mitch.
Answer him.
Uh-huh.
Why are you wearing a fucking robot helmet? And at this point, you guys can see that he's the only one that really has interest in this. The other three are just like lighting up additional cigarettes and kind of looking around to see who else is there. But Dutch is definitely kind of zeroed in on the headwear that Rob has on.
Why aren't you wearing any kind of headgear?
You fucking getting smart? And he slaps the Chris on the shoulder. This fucking kid with the fucking robot helmet on is getting smart. Are you getting smart?
Rob's going into panic mode, and he's just gonna reach up and grab like the mouth visor and pull it down. I have always been smart. You're talking to the leader of the Autobots.
It's a fucking Transformer helmet.
And he's gonna like turn his face real quick so you can see the Autobot symbol.
Say fuck. Hey, you say fuck. You fucking kid with the helmet on, say fuck.
Fuck.
Say fuck.
Fuck. Fuck. He says it like 3 or 4 times. Fuck.
Hey, say fuck again. Keep saying it. Say like cunt. Say cunt. Say dick.
I don't believe those are words that should be coming out of Optimus Prime's mouth.
Well, why don't you give me the helmet and
No.
Okay,
Negative.
at this point,
Negative.
Jerry.
Negative.
Jerry, our bidders, without the need for a roll, as you kind of like are getting the money together, thinking, Jesus Christ, what a terrible idea. You've got like a moist $5 bill. You've got like various ones that have been folded a million times. You cast your eyes back and you can see by the bank of bikes that 2 of these kids are closing in on Mitch and Rob and Ben, and they are decidedly bigger than these guys. Even though Rob's a pretty tall kid, these guys they've got heft to them. They're older. They're not, you got them, you're about the same size though.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry's not terribly bright, but he is aware that these guys probably only hang out with him because he's a bigger kid. Even though he's a dick, he's less of a dick than the other kids when he's with them. So he's got to earn his keep. Seeing a problem brewing, and he's not one to shy away from a problem, he'll pocket the money and turn back around to go outside.
Okay, so just as Dutch is asking for the helmet and the negative comes out of Rob's mouth, the door swings open and Jerry, you stride out, and the two of Dutch and Chris kind of turn and look. The other ones, Shannon and Nee, they're a good, 15, 20 yards away, smoking cigarettes again. But these two are about your size as you walk out. What are you going to do here?
Probably play it cool at first, but walk up behind Rob and like just kind of stop him from his attempted retreat with a meaty hand on his shoulder. Kind of nod to the other kid. Dutch.
Hi, Jerry.
You guys going to see Predator?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, yeah.
Well, probably better get in there and get your tickets, right?
No, we'll probably go to the late one,
Yeah.
Shit, it's only 7:00. I mean, we'll go to like 10:00.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're showing it later. You guys smoke?
Yeah. I mean, don't you have one?
Sure. Give me a smoke.
You give me a quarter.
Show me the smokes.
He reaches in and he pulls out, not from a pack, but he's got like 3 loose different cigarettes. Like you can definitely see like a Marlboro Light, a Camel, and like a Cools. Like he pulls them out and I got cigarettes. Fuck Jerry.
Jerry's gonna like fish around in his pocket, pull out 2 dimes and a nickel, and hand it over.
I asked for a quarter, man, not this shit.
Listen, I'm hanging out with the juniors today, collecting pocket change. Just give me a smoke.
It is technically 25 cents.
Who is this fucking kid with the helmet on?
He's a riot, right?
What?
Listen,
What?
we're gonna go see Predator. Give me a smoke. We'll get out of your hair.
Roll a charm for me, Jerry.
It's bound to go well.
Yay!
I'm full of charm.
Oh, he's after me like this one.
Hey.
Oh.
Fuck, all right. Whatever, man. Fuck. And he pulls out the 3 of the Marlboro Light, the Camel, and the Cools, and he like kind of lets you pick which one you want. Don't touch them all. Just like touch the one you want.
I'll take Marlboro. Your mom smells like Marlboro.
He hands it to you. This guy's a riot.
Yeah.
This guy's a regular George Burns here.
Yeah. Keep it sleazy, Dutch. Let's go, guys.
And they turn and slowly walk away, casting eyes back. But for this moment, before the movie Predator, Jerry has stood up to 2 of the bigger kids in Garrett and got a smoke off of them for the low price of 2 dimes and a nickel, which is 25 cents.
Technically.
I think as they're walking away, Jerry's gonna again smack Rob in the back of the head. You owe me a quarter.
With the smack in the back of the head, Megatron.
I did not ask you to intervene.
That guy's gonna punch your face in. You said. He said fuck.
I know.
Like 10 times he said fuck.
It got weird. It got weird.
It did get weird.
Yeah.
Also, if you go up to the booth and you're smoking a cigarette, maybe they'll think you're older.
I don't even smoke.
Then why did you waste a quarter?
You don't understand anything. Look, I'm gonna go get the tickets. Just stay out of trouble.
And
as,
Mitch just gives him a look like, what the fuck?
as Jerry walks in to buy the tickets again, it's about 10 minutes until showtime. As Mitch, if you and Rob turn, you see that Ben is furiously trying to wipe away the tears that he had been crying because he was decidedly scared of the encounter that potentially could have gone down. And he's kind of healing his eyes as the two of you notice. Jerry, you have the option between Paul and Mary, who are selling tickets. What would you like to do, my friend?
He'll probably approach Paul.
Intimidation.
What do you want to see, man?
Predator. 4 tickets. 4 tickets for Predator.
Are you 16?
Yeah, I got my driver's license right here. And Jerry will pull out his wallet and like slap down his brother's stolen driver's license.
All right, roll a charm roll for me.
Can I use my iconic item here?
What is your iconic item? The
My fake ID.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Absolutely, yeah. He looks at for a second. He looks down at the ID. looks
Denny
for a
Baker.
second. Fuck. All right, man. And he gives you 4 tickets, takes your $12, and you have 4 tickets to Predator.
Hey, can I get this single changed for 4 quarters? I got a buddy who owes me a quarter.
Yeah, just Jesus. And he punches out the 4 quarters out of the slot real quick and slings them back to you.
Thanks, bro.
All right, bro.
And
You guys have it? Yeah.
yeah, Jerry will return to his friends with the tickets.
Man, that went super easy.
Did you expect me to fail? Shut up, Rob.
Okay, cool, let's go. Wait, real quick, we ought to be on the same page. What do we say? And he kind of like pulls Ben over. What do we say if one of them comes up here and says, hey, show us your tickets? We have the tickets. Where they say, where's your parent?
Point at a random adult.
I thought you were going to say bathroom.
No, bathroom's good. They can ask the random adult.
Yeah. So bathroom?
But when they ask the adult, we can slip through their defenses.
We're on the Astro train, Rob. We're at a movie theater.
Just play it cool. No one's going to mess with you if you play it cool. Take off your helmet. Listen.
Rob's going to immediately go, no.
Covert ops. Ben, tell him about covert ops.
Covert ops is when you pretend to be somebody that you're not, so they don't think that you're who you're supposed to be.
And when he says that, Rob's going to go, I'm Optimus Prime.
He's Optimus Prime, Jerry.
You're making it worse.
For fuck's sake.
Okay. So bathroom. Bathroom.
Bathroom. And if that helmet gets you caught, I am not bailing you out.
Change.
$1.75. You owe me a quarter.
$2. Change.
Jerry's handed him $1.75.
He's gonna look at it and go, we will discuss this later. Puts it in his pocket and just kind of turns and walks towards the bathroom.
Okay, so as you all get in, your tickets are torn by the indifferent ticket terror. You have theater number 6 in front of you, which is Predator, but we are going to cut inside of theater number 6 as we see both Sam and George as they have walked in, and you see before you a theater about 2/3 packed. It is split into 3 sections: a left-hand section, a larger center section, and a right-hand section. The center section is decidedly dense, as each row except for the front 3 appear to be filled in some manner. There are several empty seats throughout the majority of the center section, but each row has somebody in it. The left-hand side has a smattering of people. Several rows are empty. The right-hand side, a smattering of people. Several rows are empty. Where are you guys going to sit?
Is there on one of the left or the right, like kind of in the back, 2 seats available for us?
Yeah, absolutely. And the left and the right are kind of further removed from even the kind of like the dim house lights that are currently on, so everybody can find their seat. And it's even darker there. You see several older kids are in the back, like making out. It's a preferred section for people that are there not to see the movie.
Okay.
So you see that George like pointing to like all like where like the cute girls are sitting.
All the cute girls in this theater are in the back of the left or right section, engaged in something that is not watching they were there with their boyfriends.
I thought you were going to say all the cute girls are Sam. That's the only one.
Yes, as far as George is concerned, yes.
George, you were actually in the top 5 cute girls in this theater right now.
Oh, you're the one who like sneaks into these. You tell me where we'll be so we won't get caught.
She'll kind of lead, not where the couples are making out, but kind of like, I guess, a few rows in front of that, but still kind of where it's dark.
Sure. So you guys pick which side, left or right?
Where do you enter from?
You enter into the back, so you kind of, it's like a theater. When you walk across, you're at the very top of the rows and they kind of descend in front of you. So you can pick the left, center, or right, wherever you want to be. The screen is way down in front. So you enter at the very back of the house.
Okay, so left, I guess.
Okay, so you enter left, you leave the kind of absolute darkness of the makeout section of the left, get into that twilight area, and you are able to find 2 seats. There's nobody in front of you, there's nobody behind you. And as you both sit down, how are you going to go about this? Are you going to sit with confidence? Are you going to kind of slouch down? Are you going to just act like everything's casual? What's the general mood of both George and Sam?
So Sam's kind of used to doing this, so once you get into the theater, she's more confident. It's dark, so she's not really seen, so she's trying to pretend to be older so that people don't like question her as much during the movie. So she's definitely like sitting comfortably to enjoy the movie, but not to draw attention for her youth.
Okay, so are you slouched down a bit, or just like...
She's kind of like slouched a little bit, just like comfortably in the chair, but definitely like not, it's like she's hiding.
Okay, so George, how are you sitting?
Like up straight. Yep, just up there with like 2 buckets of popcorn because he's holding hers and his. Kinda.
Oh yeah, she hasn't.
And like looking back at the girls making out with the dudes. And like if he ever gets a glance, he goes, and then
you're thumbs upping the guys.
Yeah.
You're thumbs upping the people that are making out a couple rows.
Good for them, you know? Young love.
Nice.
Okay, roll me go ahead and roll a charm here.
Oh,
just because
boy.
I want to see how to eventually.
Okay. Alright. One success.
Okay, so as you kind of meet somebody's eye, guy looks like maybe he's like a junior in high school. You kind of give him the thumbs up between the seats as you're sitting there. And after a moment, he's still kissing his girlfriend and he gives you a thumbs up back. Despite her, she doesn't see him. He kind of does it like behind her head.
Nice.
But he gives you the thumbs up back. So you guys are sitting in there. There's about 5 minutes until showtime, as we have the other 4 kind of burst and stumble into the back of the theater as Jerry, Rob, Mitch, and Ben, you are in Theater 6 for Predator. Where would you like to sit? Same description as given to Sam and George.
How obvious is George And his thumbs up.
We'll say that as soon as you guys walk in, you catch that entire exchange. As soon as you come in, you see George from your class as he turns and thumbs up to a darkened corner that's behind. It's not towards you guys, but it's definitely like in the direction behind him. You might not be able to see the return thumb, but you see the thumbs up from George, and you notice that it is George.
Yeah, I think Mitch beelines towards the thumbs up. And like he does it too. Like, you know when you walk up to someone and they like wave into the person behind you and you're like, but he like does the thumb up thing, but he's already walking, and then he realizes it's not for him and he puts his thumb down, but he's already made the commitment, so he keeps walking. Guys, I know that.
So George and Sam, you guys see the approach of these four.
Did you call them over?
No, I didn't. I was talking to the other guys.
Oh god, and she like scoots a little bit lower now that she's actually trying to like hide herself.
Yeah, and you see him try to like do it, but he just goes like this. He doesn't actually like scoot down. He just like turtles his head.
And when we get closer, he kind of like elbows Jerry in one of those like, "Hey, look at me, I'm cool too" moments, and he goes, "Hey, butts," and then he sits down.
Are you sitting behind
Oh
George?
yeah, right behind him.
Okay.
Let's clean.
Oh.
As soon as you would sit down, both Mitch, Jerry, and Rob, you would realize that George is there, but he is not alone. And it doesn't take you too long to realize that it is Sam who is sitting with him, a decidedly popular kid, and also a girl.
And also a girl.
What are you guys doing?
Trying to watch a movie.
Mm-hmm. You got a lot of
Why'd you sit over there?
You got a lot of popcorn.
Yeah, it's ours.
We're hungry.
Yeah, I bet you are.
I really hope the theater chair does that.
That's why he made it go so slow.
Rob's gonna lean down and be like, "Are you in?"
Will you spit it out?
It just makes it worse. He just goes, "Are you in GB dating?"
Oh god, no.
And then when you say, "Oh God, no," he was about to say, "Yeah, no, no."
He's just gonna look over. "Sorry, butts," and then lean back in his chair and just kind of.
She's still like, dude.
This is why I hang out with you. You're a dick and you don't even know it.
Which is a whisper that is heard by both Sam and George whenever Jerry delivers it.
Thanks, Jerry.
I whisper to Sam, "Yeah, if that kid didn't have a stutter, I'd punch him right in the mouth."
Huh?
And Sam knows he's like totally bluffing. He would never punch anyone in the mouth. He's a pussy.
She just kind of like pats him. She's like, I know you would.
Yeah, defending your honor, you know.
She takes a handful of popcorn and is like, okay.
Okay, so as this exchange goes down, it also burns the remaining 5 minutes before the beginning of Predator. And as Predator begins, and as these 5 kids, 6 including Ben, are gifted with the cinematic excellence of Jesse the Body Ventura, of Arnold Schwarzenegger, of Carl Weathers, as they are witness to the iconic hand grab, "Dylan, you son of a bitch," and boom, and as they clap, and you are all watching the beginning of the movie Predator. And I would like at this time for you all to roll a, let's go with an investigation check. Okay, perfect. So Jerry is hella into this movie as this is Predator, but everybody else that had one success, as you're maybe 15, 20 minutes into this movie, you're kind of drawn back from this twilight area of the darkened left-hand corner, and you see one of the ushers come in, and he clicks on a light and immediately kind of covers it with his hand as he is bringing in somebody to sit down. And as he kind of looks at the floor, he starts leading them down towards you all. What would you guys like to do?
I'm just gonna kind of elbow Mitch.
What?
He's gonna point.
Be cool. He looks to Jerry. Just watch the movie. They'll just go
I'm
away.
watching the movie.
No, not shut up, Jerry. They'll just go away if you ignore them.
Because that's how that works.
I'm 12. Okay. It's fucking, if I can't see you, can't see me. If you just lead it and just like kind of.
Rob's gonna lean back and kind of take his helmet and just.
Oh no.
I don't think that's helping.
Okay. What
Yes,
are
sir.
George and Sam doing? Because you guys are in the row in front, so you're not in the row behind with. You're not in the row with Ben, Mitch, Rob, and Jerry.
And we just play it cool. Like, I think George kind of like looks to you, but he like tries to like act cool. Like you see him like kind of like stiff up and like make his frame larger.
Mm-hmm. So Sam would kind of like push you up to look bigger as well, and kind of like lean into you to appear like we're coupling. I feel like couple in front of children is going to draw less attention, so she's just kind of like lean into you, being all cutesy, to hope that they can't see us and that he'll pay more attention to Mitch and them.
Okay, I'm going to have you two roll together. George and Sam, you two can roll together. So whoever has the best charm, and I know that you both have an iconic item that you can use as well in this roll. So whoever has the better charm, the other will add a +1 to that. So go ahead and.
So I have a 3. Oh, you just rolled. Okay.
Okay.
So I can add a 1 to that. So do I just
Yep.
roll?
Well, we both have 3, and then our things are both charm, so they're equal.
Fair
I guess
enough.
just-
Yep. So
roll.
yeah, that's the roll that went. So as she leans in and kind of initiates it, I would like to have, even though you guys aren't trying to hide, I would like sneak moves from the other 3, Jerry, Rob, and Mitch, as you're trying to like avert your face, as you're trying to like look down, eat popcorn, bring the drink up, just to make sure you hide your youth any way that you can.
Come on, Jerry.
I need a 0, Jerry.
Yes!
Damn it.
Team Trailer
So-
Park Boys is for the win!
So with expert military-esque precision that would make even Dutch, who is Arnold Schwarzenegger's character in Predator Proud, the Trailer Park Boys and the boys from the wrong side of the market expertly shadow their heads, pull a helmet down, bring the big drink up in front of the face, make sure they're eating popcorn right as the usher turns the light and looks up trying to find seats. And for a moment, that light shines on George and it shines on Sam. And the beam goes down to not blind the two of you, but both of you see the usher look for a second, look again, ignoring the children behind you, looks, allows the people to sit down, and he goes back up the aisle, but he is walking with the gait of someone that is going to get somebody else as he leaves the theater momentarily.
She kind of sighs. She's like,
You guys are gonna get us kicked out.
We should have kissed. You know, that would have made it. Whatever.
Gross.
so she kind of ignores George when he says that, and just looks at Mitch, like glaring at him.
They didn't notice us. They noticed you and your boyfriend.
She leans back. She's like, I will hurt you. And like turns back around.
I have Jerry. He'll hit a girl.
She like glances at Jerry.
Hey, Kirkshaw. Your sister coming to pick you up when you guys get kicked out?
She just stares for a moment. Just
Yeah.
turns back around.
Yeah, she is. We're really good friends.
Because I'll get kicked out too.
I'll get kicked out too. I'm coming with you. Give me a ride home, please.
Okay, so George and Sam, as true as it would be, about 5 or 10 minutes goes by, and again the back doors open, and as you are kind of on high alert now because of your incident, you notice that there are now 2 ushers, and they are moving and looking around for a moment, kind of discussing where to go, as the one that had been there before and a new arrival that is much older, at least 19, is coming down with this other usher. They are far enough away that they haven't gotten within, they haven't readjusted their own eyes to the darkened theater, but they're coming your way. What would you guys like to do? And if the wrong side of the market boys would like to do anything, let me know.
Sure. We gotta run. It's a buzz.
Can't run. That'll draw them to us.
Oh, we'll crawl. You go first.
I'm not crawling on these floors.
Well, do you want to see the movie or not?
She kind of like looks at her clothing. She's like,
Crouch walk. I don't know.
I'd rather
Walk
not.
like a duck.
Where are we gonna go?
Over there.
How close are the ushers?
They're taking their time. It's almost like, they're out in the bright lights and stuff, and they've been gone for about 10 minutes. So when they came back in, they're doing that thing where they kind of sit in the back and kind of keep their, open their eyes and look around, and they're not turning on the flashlights, which is a telltale sign that they don't want to disturb the other patrons, which means they're coming to get somebody.
Okay.
The boys on the other side of the market would know this. George and Sam might not recognize this tactic.
Greg, you sound like you have a lot of experience in this.
He was one of those boys that went in with the flashlights.
Oh no, I was one of those guys that was in the twilight zone between the makeout session and having no friends and trying to be there during Predator.
Do I recognize the people that he sat down beforehand?
I tell you what, roll a contact roll for me to see if maybe this is somebody that, these are the parents of Veronica's friend. You're not sure if she has any real friends because she treats them all pretty much like shit, but this is one of the ones that she's less shitty to. So these are Rachel's parents, and you're pretty sure their names are Joe and Joanne, which is weird because they're both Joe, but
I have an idea, and you might not like it, but I know these
Not sitting
parents...
next to the smelly kids.
No,
Oh.
but we could sit with these parents. I don't think they would tell my parents.
How about we do that? Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
So she's gonna kind of crouch walk and stand next to the
She's doing the crouch walk.
parents.
Yeah.
Like, hey, can we sit next to you?
are your parents here, honey? Or
Yeah, they dropped us off.
did
They
they
said
come
it was
and see
okay to
us?
watch, but the ushers, I don't think they really believe us. So is it okay if you vouch for us?
Roll a charm.
Can I use my scrunchie? Or, because I already used it today. Can I?
You can't use your scrunchie again.
Okay.
No. It's not going to work on Mr. and Mrs. Joe.
And just
Can I choke them with my scrunchie to make them comply?
Right. Can I turn into a Bond villain? Right. Joanne leans forward and she goes, "Oh, yeah, just sit down. Sit down for a second." And they kind of move and allow Sam to sit down, but they immediately kind of slide the legs back up as George wasn't around during this exchange. And as they are focused on the movie, George, you are left kind of
I did say we. Can we sit with you?
George, do you wouldn't know these people? Are you going to tell?
I don't
them?
know. They might know me. If they are a married couple and they had any kind of troubles in the bed, they might be patients of my mom's.
That's right.
They
I
might
forgot
know
what your
me.
mom did.
Yep.
They're just older, not geriatric.
It doesn't matter. She's great. She's great at what she does, Mitch. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I tell you what. I will let you roll a contact roll as well, but you're going to need 2 successes here because this is like a 6 degrees of separation.
Oh boy! We ain't getting caught tonight.
6 degrees to George Butts. All right.
Right. As soon as they look at you and kind of the father, Joe, moves his feet, he looks up and sees you and kind of sees the body language of Sam, and he's getting ready to like not move his legs, but then he recognizes your face, or perhaps a younger version of you from a picture that he's seen in the frame of your mom's office. Do I? It's the Butts boy, honey. Here, just get him his legs, and you're able to slide in. Just at that moment, the ushers come down and look in the spot where the two of you were, kind of scan with the naked eye without illuminating the flashlights. They don't see anybody at this moment, but you hear maybe the trailer park kids hear, yeah, I know they're in here. Yeah, they're in here. We're going to listen, corporate's here. We're going to get written up for this. I don't want to not get paid tonight. And they kind of drift off as they walk back up to the back of the house. And just as they're walking up from the screen, Dutch delivers his line, "If it bleeds, we can kill it." And as Predator continues now with Sam and George beside Joe and Joanne, about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes goes by, and Mitch, you feel a tug on your sleeve, and you see Ben is peering between the chairs, looking back towards like makeout corner.
What are you doing? The movie's over here.
I think they know where I think they know we're here.
Who does?
And he points between kind of like the wooden backs of the chairs. It creates that kind of extended 3-4 inch V between both seat backs. And when he points, just as he points, Mitch, and as you kind of look through, there's a light that illuminates across the screen, and a line is delivered, "Right there, past them trees." And just as Ben points, you see one of the ushers wearing an Orioles baseball cap pulled down low, and you see him look over, and in the far side, coming around and up the front, low crawling, very similar to what Sam and George did to escape, are 3 other ushers coming down towards the front of the house and up towards your side from the front.
Are they doing the George Butts patent pending to Cratchy Walk?
Exactly. It is a Butts special, and they seem to have taken the class and passed with flying colors.
So they're coming towards the screen, or they're coming towards us?
They're coming from the screen towards you guys. So at the front of the house, coming up towards the left-hand side. Your faces are now all visible because of the illuminated nature of the theater screen.
He looks, you hear a Christmas Story-esque, "Fuck."
Only he didn't say fuck.
He didn't say fudge. Guys, we're gonna get caught this time for sure. I don't have a plan out of here. We could run, but would they miss the ending?
Yeah, fuck that. I'm not missing the ending. Run a distraction.
What are you going to do?
I don't know.
It is also just at this moment that Rachel's parents, Joe and Joanne, at the prompting of Joanne, who has been furiously bitching about this movie for about 25 to 30 minutes, as she was apparently sold a bill of goods on this thing for their date night that has decidedly not come to pass. She stands up, she turns towards Sam and the Butts boy and says, I'm sorry, I'm not watching any of this, and I'm driving the fuck home. And she gets up and walks out, and Joe, realizing that he was just had his ass blistered in front of two kids, one of which he had sees the mother of, he kind of nods and gets up and leaves as well. They have quit the theater, exposing both Sam and George to further scrutiny.
Mitch leads.
Wow, my parents really did leave. So that's our excuse. They just went out. We don't know where they went. It's their date night. We we got this.
Yeah, that works. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's never gonna work.
We're too far away.
We're like a couple seats ahead of you now.
Oh, are you? You moved way up.
Yeah.
I thought you just moved like over 2 seats.
They're like down like 3 rows now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mitch
He's
reaches.
shouting, that'll never work.
So this is because it's 13-year-old logic. And they can't see me. Mitch reaches over and grabs some of Jerry's popcorn, and then he just like throws kernels towards him. Hey. And he's trying to hit George in the back of the head with the popcorn, or either one of them at that
I'm
point.
sure they get stuck in my curls.
Your quaff.
Yeah.
Sam turns around. What?
They can see
Coming for you.
for you.
And she turns around. She stops listening to you.
And he's just pointing at them. Like he sees the ushers and he's pointing at the two of them.
You're selling
Yeah.
them out?
I'm pointing at the two. They see you. And then she turns around
Okay.
and he sees the ushers and he's like. And then he sits back in his seat.
Motherfucker.
Roll a charm for me.
Get caught. You're going down. Let's go.
No,
Good.
no
Fuck
fucking
you.
way.
Now, I will let you know that with a failure, should you wish to use your pride for an automatic success, you can. You have 1 a session. You can also push a roll, which will F you up if you fail it. You have to take a condition and press it, but you can if you want.
No, I don't think this is that big of a deal, and my pride doesn't apply here, unfortunately. Yeah, he sits back down and he thinks he did a good job, and he goes, "Hey, I ran a distraction, but if they catch them, they're gonna catch us next."
You ran a distraction by making them look at you.
Yes, that's how distractions work.
Good one.
Thanks, man. I was hoping they'd catch them, and then leave us alone.
Why do I hang out with you dinguses?
Because we don't make fun of you for saying dingus.
Gonna do, guys? As Ben, who is
Does-
sitting beside Jerry.
Does anybody have a drink?
Did
No,
you-
I only got a
You guys
small
all
popcorn.
probably, yeah.
No, we only have 1 small popcorn. So unless you bought a drink with your $1.75.
Yeah. Ben would have had a courtesy cup of water that he would have used to fill up at the fountain. So,
But he brought the cup.
yeah, you probably have water. Yeah. I have this. Throw it.
Throw it away.
And he's just gonna point down to the bottom rows of the movie theater. Not on them, just like anybody. Just throw it.
Ben looks at Rob, looks at Jerry,
Do it.
looks at Mitch, sees no dissension, stands and throws the cup directly at the crouching ushers that are coming towards the 3 of you as it splashes and hits the lead guy, who's a good octogenarian 19, splashing over his head, just as Arnold Schwarzenegger crashes through the water, washing off all the mud, revealing himself to the predator. And as this is happening on the screen, all the lights from Oriole Hat Guy in the back to the three in the front click on and begin to scan all of the left-hand side. Anybody that wants to stay in this theater, roll me a sneak roll, please.
Mitch yells, "Down in front!" Goes back to watch the movie. Second! I'm fucking watching this movie. Frags, don't fail me.
I failed.
Oh, you
I know. I was like the first one to roll.
You and the butts boy get kicked out.
Okay, so as the how do the people that succeed, you're going to be caught if you stay where you are. So Jerry, Mitch, Sam, how do you evade this kind of search pattern that's been set up by the Ushers?
Crap, I don't know, because Butts and I are together.
You're going to have to leave Butts behind if you want to save
Yeah,
yourself.
I think we go to do the patent pending Butts crouch walk, but my pants are too tight, and so I can't really do it.
You're doing like the ass up crouch, where it's like the ass is higher than everything else because you can't bend enough.
Yeah, exactly, basically.
Okay.
I
So
guess
your
I
ass
crouch
would be
away
up.
to get to like the middle seating.
Okay, you crouch over to the middle section just as a light shines onto George, and as that light shines onto George, the beam kind of passes over and hits Rob as Rob's there, and it glints just off the chrome of Optimus Prime's grill, the mouth of his grill piece, and causes enough of a glint that the guy who's dripping with water says, "Is that Optimus Prime?" And what do Jerry and Mitch do to evade the search pattern?
I think we did like the same thing. Like we were getting ready to move also, and then you have like Mitch look back. He's like, "Take off the helmet. Take off the helmet." Yeah, and then Rob's like, "No," and then it glints off his moving back and forth helmet head as we have like scooched over 2 seats.
I think Jerry kind of stumbled and like wedged himself down on the floor between the seats, but got stuck.
So Mitch had to climb over him.
Yeah.
Get the helmet off. Wow. Flashlight.
But there's still, you guys are able to evade, whether by hook or by crook. You guys are able to keep out of the spotlight. Unfortunately,
I think that's what happens. Is like Jerry jams himself in there, and Mitch is trying to climb over him, and Mitch eats it and just falls on top of Jerry as he's like, take the headset off, wham, and he just falls as the flashlight hits him in the face.
like perfect timing.
Yeah.
He falls just as the light passes over the area, and then takes Rob out. So as
Well, when he says, "Is that Optimus Prime?" like, I'm gonna like look straight at the flashlight in my face, and the thing's gonna fall down, and you're gonna hear, "No."
come here, and they come forward, and within moments both George and Rob are ushered out of Predator and into the office of the AMC 6 theaters and plop down beside one another, quickly revealing that neither of you are 16.
Way to go, dweeb.
You're here too.
Yeah, no thanks to you and your loser friends. Yeah, I'm losing.
Why did you get caught?
Some idiot decided to throw a water cup right at the Ushers, and it happened to come right from your area.
So that's why we got caught.
Yeah, because guess what? You threw it in front of us, so I was in your line of sight. I'm surprised your little robot head doesn't do the telemetry on that.
With the telemetry comment, the still dripping 19-year-old manager of the AMC 6 theaters walks in very like Hill Street Blues, kind of closes the door harder than it needs to be closed as he makes a show of it and looks at both of you and says, "So did you guys come here together?"
Certainly not.
No.
Who'd you come here with then?
I came here with my my buddy's parents, friends of my parents. They wanted to see the movie.
I came alone. All by myself. I am all alone. With nobody.
Both of you roll a charm.
All by
One success.
myself.
His is a bogus
They-
story. I'm good to go though, right?
Where are the parents? The ones that you came here with?
The wife started bitching around, so she got up, and then I think I didn't get a chance to look in the lobby, but he's like right before you guys came in, flashing that light at us.
The 19-year-old face seems to realize that yes, indeed, somebody did leave, and kind of waves you off, opens the door dramatically behind him, allowing George to leave. But he keeps the door closed again on Rob. "So who'd you come with? How many? We won't ban you guys if you just tell me. We get in trouble for this type of shit, man."
Okay. I came alone. All by myself. With nobody.
That's bullshit. Okay, well, if we catch your friends, we're going to ban them. And he walks out of the room. And since this is the 80s, you hear the door lock.
Robert is in danger. He's going to start looking around the room. Uh-oh. Is there a vent? No, I'm just kidding.
Is it a drop ceiling?
Yeah.
That's a really bad office if you get locked in.
So we're going to cut back in as the final minutes and the climactic battle between Schwarzenegger and the Predator ensues as, again, the Ushers are sweeping through, and they are literally ruining the movie for people as they kind of spin the lights up each one of the rows. You are going to get revealed at this point. And Sam, as you are separate from everybody else, you're sort of in Schitt's Creek here. I will allow this. If either Jerry or Mitch turn themselves in, the other will be saved.
I don't think, knowing Jerry, I don't think he's turning himself in. But since they're both lay on the ground, he looks to Jerry and he looks figuratively back to the door and then looks over to where Sam is sitting, and then he kind of dismounts Jerry and begins to actually low crawl under the chairs towards where Sam is. And then Sam, you just feel probably in a very inopportune moment in the movie, also your friend just got kidnapped. You feel something grab your leg from the floor.
So Sam would totally scream. It would scare the living crap out of her to be touched during this movie, that she would literally scream, look down, and you can just see rage just forming in her face. She's like, "Mother, what are you doing?"
We have to crawl out of here or we're gonna get kicked out forever.
She kind of glances around. Does she see any ushers coming towards her now that she screamed?
When you screamed, it kind of stopped everybody and they were doing their sweeps. And with the screams, it's almost like you have that beat before your face is in a flashlight. And Mitch is abso-fucking-lutely right. You are going to get caught in seconds unless you join him on the floor.
Fuck. And she gets down on her knees to kind of crawl down with you. She's like, I can't get out of here.
I know. Me either. I hope Jerry figured this plan out. I didn't really tell him the plan. Okay. And you just see him start to go backwards because he crawled under the seats to get down to the 3 rows down where you guys were. He starts to scooch backwards, back up to where Jerry was. We gotta go.
It's at this moment that the ushers are descending upon the area, and while before Mitch returns, Jerry, you feel a hand on your shoulder as Ben says, "Thanks for sticking up for Rob out there." And Ben jumps up and jumps over the back of the chair, and he goes, "It was me! It was me! I threw the water!" And he drops down on his knees in a symbol that he saw on the poster of Platoon, and he puts his hands down and he puts his hands behind his head as if he's going to be arrested, which of course he's not, but he is quickly carted out of the theater where he joins Rob in the manager's office. 5 minutes pass, the movie ends. The rest of you are presumably fine.
Damn it. I missed the last 5 minutes.
Well, if you weren't down on the stupid floor.
Shut up, you were there too.
Ugh.
How do we get our friends out of jail? Movie jail.
She stands. Sam stands up, kind of dusts herself off. She's like, "I would have been fine
You screamed. They would have found you right away.
because of you."
Had I not grabbed you, they would have found you anyway. My friend only jumped over there because he thought I was going to get caught. And your other friend did get caught. So you're going to go get him anyway. Now we got to break him out.
Would George have, like, how long? Where would George have gone after getting released?
George didn't give a single shit about this movie, so he probably just like hung out at like the concession stand or something. Maybe trying to I was gonna say he's gonna try and hook up with Mary a little bit.
Fucking Mary.
Roll a charm for me.
Get Mary.
Think of anything I could do for you?
Successful, a little charming.
Okay, so as Sam, Mitch, and Jerry walk out of Predator, no one's being scanned as you guys leave. You're kind of able to go out with the crowd. You all bear witness to George, who's kind of, not to take away player agency, but Mary has now moved to the concession stand where George is sitting, and Mary is sliding over a napkin with her number on it as George is working his magic with his charm.
Gross.
And also she thinks he's 16.
Gross and a liar.
So Sam would see that he's doing this and say, "See, he's fine," and apparently can actually talk to girls. So
Double gross. Hey, Butts!
you don't like girls? Is that what you're saying?
I don't like George Butts. Shut up. Butts!
It's who he's like doing what he can. He's like turning his back to them, still chatting with Mary. So like Saturday, Sunday, Friday. I mean,
George Butts!
Georgie!
George Butts from Garrett Middle School. George Butts!
Georgie!
I'll give you a call. You don't call me Georgie, or you can call me Georgie. It's okay. And I walk away.
Okay, you leave Mary confused but interested. As again, she thinks you're 16.
That's how Mike leaves everyone. Confused but interested.
Confused but interested.
You know, make sure to pull up my members only jacket up a little bit. Good.
She's caroused, scared in her own.
Caroused.
She definitely has the face of someone caroused. Meanwhile, in the manager's office, Rob, the door clicks open and Ben is ushered in by the usher. And as he still has a whole other performance of this movie to show. He simply takes a Polaroid of each of your faces, puts it onto some type of paper clipped board, asks you for each of your names.
I'm gonna go My name is Jerry Baker.
That's
Jerry
perfect.
Baker.
2 R's.
Ben looks completely baffled by this as the look of, wow, it's a great idea and I can't pull this off goes across, and you can see him say, I'm Ben McKenzie. And he just puts his head down and they write it on the bottom of the Polaroid, and Jerry Baker with your picture and Ben McKenzie with his picture are then put up into the ticket booth of people that have been banned from the AMC 6 theaters for the next 60 days, which is almost the whole summer. So
Way to
you
go,
guys are
Rob.
quickly released, as this is not jail. It's movie jail, so it's a quick parole. You guys are able to go out. You are able to meet up with Sam, George, Jerry, and Mitch as the 2 captured soldiers are returned to the platoon.
What happened?
I was locked in a room.
Ben, what happened?
They took our picture. We can't come back for summer.
Like the whole summer?
All 3 of us.
All 3 of you.
I might have said my name was Jerry Baker.
Oh,
Yeah, but they took
I-
your
Ben steps away from Rob.
Yeah, but they took your picture. So they're just gonna wait till you walk to the ticket booth and they're gonna look at your picture and say no.
Not if I'm dressed like Jerry.
You have the same face, Rob. It's a picture of your face.
Rob's gonna go, like, make this weird face and be like, I look different this way.
Alright.
He's not wrong, I guess.
So okay. Well, that was weird.
But you didn't throw anybody else under the bus, right? It's just the 2 of you
And Jerry.
and Jerry. So just y'all.
Just the 2 of us, yeah.
Sweet. That means we can still see movies. She motions towards George.
Yeah, speaking of which, whose idea was this movie?
why, Jerry?
It seems like a movie for losers, am I right?
You're here,
Yeah,
so you're calling
You're
yourself a loser.
you're here.
Jerry, I don't know where you're going with this one.
Were we? You know, our names.
were we here?
Were we though? Our names and pictures aren't up on that board. So
So you guys been like dating like a long time?
Mitch, shut up.
Or like he was talking to another girl.
Because we're
On
not
your date.
dating, so he can talk to whoever he wants.
Sure.
At least he can talk to girls, unlike somebody.
Yeah, at least I don't. Oh wait, I wasn't there. At least don't grab them randomly. Gosh.
I was on the ground. We were dating.
He
It was all the way in there.
doesn't have to sneak up on girls to get their attention.
I could have just let you get caught.
I mean, I do it anyway, but I don't have.
It's a choice. That's a choice I make. So now what are we gonna do?
Sam, you would know that Veronica is coming to pick you up like 10 minutes after the movie hits, which is right about now.
We're leaving.
Oh.
I don't know what y'all are doing.
Your sister coming?
What does it matter?
You know what it matters.
She has higher standards than you.
Yeah,
so.
you just tell her Jerry says hey.
Okay, mental note. Tell her the loser said, hey, oh, I won't. Okay, and she like turns around to like walk where she was gonna get picked up.
Yeah, you guys are able to kind of retreat back out to where the bikes were parked and everything. And as you all presumably go out in that direction, you see the following. Your bikes are gone, and the Volkswagen Rabbit is sitting in a parking space, and your sister's not in it.
Shit.
Great, your sister's hooking up with some random guy again.
She may have gone out to go shopping. I don't know.
What about our bikes?
Guess you're walking.
You talk like you're superior somehow, and you're not walking.
I'm not walking.
It's 9:30.
Yeah.
None of the stores are open.
Look, I'm gonna we'll check the bushes in a minute, and we'll be fine.
Are her keys in the car?
Why would she be in the
You can
bushes?
go check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go see if her keys are like in the car, like in the ignition.
Wait, why did you think she would be in the bushes?
Look, Mitch, I know we're like in the same grade, but there's this thing when you get older that happens. Your changes happen. And so you have these urges in like boys on girls and
Holy
she
shit,
had-
we get it. Your mom wrote a book.
If she has a car, why would she be in the bushes?
because you don't want to get stains in this classic.
You're an idiot.
No, you're an idiot for fucking in that car. Getting the juices everywhere? No, man.
Can we stop talking about my sister's sex life, please?
I know, Jerry's right here.
Sorry, Sammy.
Are there keys in the car?
Are you guys all kind of like migrating as you're
Yeah.
talking down
Yeah.
towards the rabbit?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you get down towards the rabbit, Sam, you immediately look in and realize that her like long dangly key fob is hanging from the ignition.
Weird. She wouldn't just leave her keys in the car.
Even for sex. And he like looks at George.
Even for the sex, yeah.
Idiot.
She kind of like starts looking around. Are any cars still there?
There are a few, but as it's being let out and there are decidedly less people here for the second showing, there's not a whole lot of pedestrian traffic. People are already in getting ready for the next movie or the next showing, and you don't see anyone around.
Is there any ominously floating red balloons?
Nope, nor are there any like paper ships or anything. No paper
No,
boats.
no sign of like Dutch and the other delinquents either.
Nope.
Well, maybe she came in. I don't know.
But she
And-
wouldn't have left her keys there.
No, but maybe she just forgot this once. I don't know. And she kind of turns and kind of starts walking faster.
Your
to-
sister does move fast, so.
Sam, as you kind of turn and are thinking about all this, you kind of start walking back, and just as you turn, kind of almost wedged by the front left wheel, is your sister's shoe.
She wouldn't lose her shoe. This is weird.
Is it? I mean, you're kind of undressing, and maybe it just got thrown there.
Enough with the sex. George, please.
Well, do we just call her name?
It's not the last time he's gonna hear that.
She picks up the shoe and is like about to hit Jerry with it. I swear to God. No, my sister takes very good care of her shoes. You have no idea how insane she is about her shoes. And then she starts like screaming Veronica.
Greg, I'm gonna go look like face to the glass on the passenger side door and like look in the car to see if there's like, I don't know, anything wrong. Like the key fob's in there, the shoes off. Does it look like there was like a struggle? Is there like shit strewn all over the car? I feel like she wouldn't be a messy girl.
Right. The good news is that this is a convertible, so you can actually kind
Okay.
of like look into the
Yeah.
car.
He still does it anyway.
I see. Yeah.
And for you, those of you playing the music game back home, please put on U2's "With or Without You." as you look in, and as the screams for Veronica are being delivered by Sam, you see that there looks like drops of something on the tan leather of the Volkswagen Rabbit. It seems to be on the dashboard, down by the gear shift, and across the right-hand side of the steering wheel.
Hey, I never want to say George is right, but did your sister have like a boyfriend or?
Not that I know of.
There's something gross all over the car.
So Sam kind of comes back to investigate it.
You guys can get into the car if you want to. I mean, you can open the doors. There's no
Yeah.
top to it.
Yeah, she'll.
There's no top to it. Just a reminder. It's a convertible. Been there with the whole time.
It's a fucking convertible, right? Yeah.
Typical Veronica, no, all tops down. But she'll go over to the driver's side to kind of investigate it. She doesn't want to get in it if there's gross stuff in it, though.
Yeah, as you look, without requiring a roll here, because it's sort of prevalent, it looks like there's, as soon as like light hits it from the parking lot lights, it looks like blood.
So Sam kind of like steps back. She's like, that's blood.
Where?
Just
Like, this is where George is starting to look.
Who has the shoe? Is the shoe-
I have the shoe. Is it covered in blood or anything?
It doesn't seem to be covered in blood, no.
Like Sam's shaking. She's like freaking out now.
Are you like visibly like upset? I'm assuming.
Yeah, she's just like, something bad has clearly happened here. If there's blood, her shoe is off, the key's still in the car, like something awful is happening.
Okay. And then that's where George goes into Georgie mode and just like petting you and like, it's okay. And he's like, you know, like rubbing your shoulders and shit. Not like rubbing your shoulders like centrally, but like,
kind of-
yeah, on the sides. Yeah.
Mitch, please.
We should find your sister, but first, a massage. Right?
But first, let me get this lavender oil.
Should we find a pay phone?
Do we want to call the cops? Or do we want to look for her first?
We can see if she's around first.
You're muted, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm muted. You guys look, and I'll go back to the booth and ask if they saw anything happen at the car
Okay.
and
Yeah.
the bikes. And he runs off towards the movie ticket booth.
Okay, you can run in there and just roll me a basic charm roll, Mike, as
Sure.
we see what you can find. Anybody else want to investigate? Roll an investigate roll for me, please.
I have one success.
Oh.
Nice. I would say Sam's too like shook it up to really look.
Okay, let's start with Mike. Mike, as you get in there and ask a question about, did anybody see anything? We'll say that Mary, who already identifies you as being the younger brother of George, says, well, yeah, I mean, we saw those boys that are out there. They left, rode off on their bikes.
Shit. Anyone else? Did you see like a rabbit with a convertible top?
No, it was just the boys and I guess one of their girlfriends.
Yeah, that's Shannon. She's a floozy. But no one in a rabbit.
No.
Damn it. Okay. If you see anyone that drives a rabbit and maybe he's like missing a shoe, just let me know. I'll be in the parking lot.
Sure.
Okay,
Tell your brother to call me, okay?
gross. He likes boys. And he turns and starts to run towards the door. And he runs out back towards the parking lot. And he's like, "They didn't see anything, but I found the bikes." As he runs towards the rabbit.
Okay, so we did have a success on the investigation roll, correct? Yeah, Rhino, you got 2 of them. Rob got 1. Yep, okay. So what you guys are able to put together as you kind of look down off of this area, you realize that just off of the parking lot where the rabbit is parked, there's kind of a guardrail and then a very sheer drop down to the level of where like the Sarge's house would be before you guys climb that great big hill. Only this is kind of like the blind side of all that, away from the main roads. You see what looks like a kind of like a BMX switchback going through this area. And on one of the guard railings, you see a kind of a large quarter-sized drop of blood.
Oh, fuck. Maybe I go back and I'll get a flashlight. So yeah, I go back into the to the car, pop the trunk, and see if there's a flashlight in it.
Veronica probably wouldn't carry a flashlight. However, George, I will let you know that you do have a contact inside Mary, and there are several flashlights that the Ushers use that you may be able to borrow one. If you're willing to go back in and talk to Mary.
Yeah, no, she likes me, so, I got this.
Yep, and without a roll, because you've already succeeded in wooing her, she, in fact, gives you a flashlight to use however you would like.
Well, maybe I'll show her later. And I walk out.
Okay, what would you like to do?
I want to go back to the guardrail, and I'm going to reassure her, like, Sam, just... in now. And I keep walking down to the guardrail, and I start looking down the hill.
Since you already rolled an investigate and got 2, you can see that there is maybe every 15-20 yards another drop of blood, but this time it's in the dirt. It's tough to see, but with the flashlight you're able to pick it up. It looks like whatever trail was taken here, whoever was bleeding was taken down it, and it's kind of switching back all the way down to the valley floor. And now, as you're kind of away from the lights of Maplehurst Mall and staring off into the darkness, you realize that the scrapyard is just below this. The scrapyard is where they're actually cutting through the new access point for Maplehurst Mall, and it's just below you in the valley.
Is Rob still with me, or what did Rob do while I ran off and got the light and everything?
You guys could be anywhere you want. It just took several minutes. You saw people running back and forth, so.
Yeah.
I would have stayed. I would have stayed while you ran to get the light. Or I would have just kind of stood there, just kind of looking at the blood, not wanting to touch it, not wanting to freak anybody out. So he waits for you to come back to get the flashlight.
And then when we discover that, like, Rob, we got to go talk to the rest of the group. We might have to call the sheriff.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yep, you guys are all able to meet back up at the PW if that's where you're doing it, and you can convey all of this information. So my question to the entire group now is that you are reconvened. What will you do? You have a probable route, a flashlight, and no Veronica or bikes.
Okay, so, Jerry, you remember that time that you were a dick to Dutch?
Yeah.
He took our bikes.
Yeah, I figured that might happen. You
Okay.
think he took Veronica too?
No. Mary said that they took the bikes and left. What did you guys find?
So there's Sam trying to freak out, but there's blood going down to the scrapyard.
Yeah, we have to call the cops then.
Okay. But I don't know how long it's gonna take the cops to get here, so we also
What-
wanna look, or let's call the cops and then we go just bolt it down the hill.
Call the police.
Anyone but Rob.
Or Jerry. I'm sure Jerry is a record.
I feel like you're, making assumptions about me here. I'm pretty worried about Sam's sister, all right? I think we should follow this trail you found because time could be of the essence.
Then-
we should also take the keys.
Okay, I have an idea. Ben, you have your compass.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sam, lipstick?
She looks and takes it out of her purse and hands it to you.
And he rummages through the glove compartment. I assume there's some kind of piece of paper, and on the piece of paper he writes, "Went to find Veronica," and then puts it over the on the windshield wiper underneath it, and then hands the now shitty lipstick back to Sam. And he says, "Okay, we call the cops, we take the compass, we take the flashlight, and then we go look for her."
And what are we gonna do if we find her? What if we
Tell
don't
the
find
cops.
her?
Tell the cops where she is. What are we gonna do now? Just sit here and wait for the cops to show up,
Okay, let's.
and then
let's
also
go.
get in trouble for getting kicked out of the movies?
Let's go. Let's go find her.
Okay. You want to ask your new girlfriend to call the cops? And he points to George.
Yeah. No, I'll go talk to Mary.
And then he starts heading over towards where the blood was on the railing.
Sam
you-
takes the car keys.
Okay, you explain all this to Mary. She seems kind of incredulous, but she says that she'll call mall security and see what, have them come out and see what they say. She basically saying that it might have more weight if, the security guard calls the cops. So she basically says, he's on the other side of the mall. He'll be here in 15, 20 minutes.
Okay, great. Thanks for doing that. You just let him know all the information I told you, and I'm gonna go look for her.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thanks, babe. And he walks away.
Way to
Okay,
go,
yeah,
Mary.
We cut to the top of the hill, looking down the switchback, and even though it's still dark, the light of the flashlight seems to just zero in on these drops of blood as they are kind of spaced at even intervals down this. Group, what are you going to do?
Okay.
What do you think made her bleed?
Well, as they get older, girls as they get older, there's
Definitely wasn't. Definitely.
Before you
George, I
even
swear to
finish
God.
that, she smacks you. No. I don't know, but clearly something hurt her. She lost her shoes, so it was clearly a fight of some sort.
Definitely wasn't the predator.
what's it?
Could have been a predator.
Wow.
It was.
It's the 80s, so off in the distance here.
Okay.
Maybe
so,
she hit a puppy and it's bleeding everywhere. She's like, I gotta get rid of this dog, and it's not her blood; it's a puppy's dog. Blood.
She wouldn't hit a dog.
Yeah. Well, depends if she's distracted.
Okay. What if we don't think about what made the blood happen and we just go look for her?
I assume we're still following the trail.
Yeah, if you guys have started, you are walking down. And for those of you playing the music game on YouTube or at home, please cue up some White Snake, as Here I Go Again should be playing as you
Perfect.
watch.
That was my class song.
It's your class song. That's great. Okay, so as you guys are going down the kind of the switchback, You get to the bottom and you realize that there is the scrapyard. It immediately kind of spills out into the scrapyard. This isn't the mag graveyard that you guys have made your hideout in, but this is just generalized scrap of like autos and scrap metal that's been compressed into cubes. And as you're walking with the flashlight, you kind of lose the blood trail because it kind of widens into a larger path than just the switchback. But at this point, you hear voices up ahead.
Do you recognize the voices?
You roll me a comprehend here.
2 successes.
Sounds like Dutch. And it sounds like your sister.
Can I hear what they're saying, or is it just like voices? I know it's people talking.
Elevated and sounds upset, like verging on shouting.
Okay, if I know who it is, then I want to like charge forward, like pissed off, like what the hell just happened?
Okay, anybody going with Sam?
Do you relay any of this, Sam?
Probably not. She's probably so focused on my sister was gone. This is my sister. Get to her. So she wouldn't have relayed. She's very much just like this motherfucker and like charging forward.
Yeah, George just follows her like, oh shit. All right.
She's moving with a purpose. So
Greg, what's the foliage around us? Are we like in the woods?
You are not in the woods at all. You are in the scrapyard, so there's just kind of
scrapyard.
stacks of metal
Stacks of
cubes
metal.
everywhere.
Okay, perfect. I was picturing woods. I think if he sees the two of them take off, he like turns to Ben, and realizing that Ben's strengths lie in his lack of strengths, he like grabs Ben by the shoulders and he goes, "Hide, and if anything happens, run and tell someone." And he kind of shoves him towards like one of the scrap heaps.
What are you gonna do, Mitch?
I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead.
All right. And you see him kind of go and duck down behind like the door of like a blown out door of a half crushed car.
And he does like a half-ass salute towards him, and then turns and sort of runs after Butts. And he just like as he's passing by Rob and Jerry, he just kind of shrugs and starts running after them.
I think Jerry will do the same thing. Look at Rob and shrug and follow along.
Rob's gonna like. Is there any like scrap laying on the ground?
Rob's gonna go high with Ben.
I thought about it. But...
It's pretty clean because they bring things through here. But what are you looking for? You could probably pry it off a.
Yeah, but Rob's not a very strong individual. So I was looking for just like a piece of handheld metal that is conveniently bat-sized. I need something good swinging size.
Well, I tell you what, since you probably haven't spent any of them, if you spend a luck point, there'll be one of them right at your feet.
Okay, I'll do that. So now I have 2.
Mm-hmm. So with the spending of the luck, you look down and immediately find a nice bat-sized piece of metal. Light enough, aluminum. You figure you could really whip this sucker around.
He's going to look at it and go, neat. And he's going to pick it up and walk over and hide with Ben.
He's gonna hide with Ben?
Yeah.
Okay. Ben kind of just makes room for Rob. I thought you were going. I'm glad you're not.
Not a fighter.
Me neither. So for the rest of our group, as you guys are charging, you round the corner and you see the following. The bikes are being positioned on what looks like a compressor press. the three of the boys, Chris, Dutch, and Nee, are all standing around, and Veronica has a split lip as she is shoeless, hanging kind of slumped over a piece of metal, and she is kind of getting her faculties about her, as it appears she has either been hurt and carried down here, because just by the wobbliness of her legs, you're uncertain she could have made it down that switchback you just descended. But she's starting to get her druthers about her as she's starting to cuss at the boys, you know, where the hell am I? You know, she's still out of it, but she's kind of gearing up. Sam, you would realize that she's revving back up as it's odd to see your sister like this, though. She's not put together. She's dirty. She's been mistreating. You know, she's been mistreated as she's been drugged down this switchback, and she's in the dirt. What do you guys do?
Does it seem like they helped her there? Like, are they reacting a certain way to how she's acting?
Roll empathize for me to see if you can figure out what they're doing.
No.
You can't tell. She seems pissed. They seem equally indifferent. So they're definitely not trying to help her.
Okay, yeah. Sam keeps charging forward. She's like, what the hell happened?
As soon as you are revealed, George, you're right behind Sam, correct?
Yes, sir.
You roll around there, and as you pop out, you see this just as Mitch and Jerry roll into the situation. As the group gets there, minus Rob and Ben, and as they turn, Mitch, Jerry, George, and Sam, you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that these three boys took Veronica. For whatever reason, you don't know. But they are there, your bikes are there, and they don't seem happy about the situation or your arrival. And they are beginning to move towards you. What would you like to do?
I don't think Mitch stopped moving. Like, Mitch lives on the wrong side of the tracks, right? So he's not a stranger to inappropriate things in back alleys happening, whether they're dealings or otherwise. And I think once he, like, breaks through the line of scrap and sees the situation, he just kind of barrels into a full charge. Like, he sees stolen bikes, beat up girl, bad situation, and he just barrels into whoever the first person is. You are muted.
Okay, so for those of you keeping touch at home, now it's time to queue up a little Keep Your Hands to Yourself by Georgia Satellites. As you come barreling in, Jerry, what are you doing? I'm not sure I have to ask this, but...
Jerry's, right on Mitch's wing. Ready to follow up.
Okay, so as the other side of the tracks boys just go flying past George and Sam, presumably, Sam, do you stop? George, do you stop?
Sam would definitely be taken aback to these guys coming at her. Question, with there being the bad side of the tracks in the town, would mace be a thing that Sam could have?
Not yet.
Okay.
Nobody's given mace to a 12-year-old that's supposedly not going to see Predator.
Hey man, there's the bad side of the tracks. You never know what's gonna happen. I'm just curious.
You have a good argument for it after tonight.
Okay.
After the events of tonight, there's a very good argument for it. But as of right now, no. So, George, what are you doing as you see Jerry and Mitch just haul ass towards these guys, not even stopping?
George, you know, he's a lover, but he's also seeing two of his classmates trying to help Veronica, who obviously looks like she's in need of it, and so he can't let them get their asses kicked. He doesn't want to get his ass kicked either, so he's gonna figure it out real quick. But he looks at him like, gotta help.
George is neither a lover nor a fighter, but he's getting in there.
He's a lover. He's a lover.
He's a step ahead of you in that number game, though.
It's true. He does have one number.
There was.
We have a number counter
There's at
on the
least
screen.
7 numbers on that.
That's true.
Area code in there, there's got 10.
You got me.
Yeah.
So,
I think we need a number counter here.
so Sam, maybe man, fuck these guys. Maybe we fight dirty. Maybe we grab some scrap and swing at it.
I'm not getting in there. Do I look like I can take these guys?
I mean, if you're the one swinging, hitting heads, you don't have to worry about it. You're gonna take them down.
Is there if she were to go around, is there a way to get behind them?
Presumably, but as the good side of the tracks kids are having this tactical discussion, Mitch and Jerry hit the line like a battering ram. Mitch and Jerry, I would like you guys to roll me some. You can roll me some straight up force. You can roll me a straight body if you want to. Just let me know what it is you guys are trying to do when you do it.
Yeah, so Mitch doesn't have the large frame that Jerry has. So he basically human cannonballs. He's charging at the person. Who's the first who's the first bully that he sees?
The boy called Nee. His name is Barney.
Oh, Barney, yeah. So he's charging towards him, and he identifies the target, and at the last second he just kind of jumps and balls up and just bashes into his chest. His only goal is to bring him to the ground, and I have 1 success.
Okay, so again, if you're playing the music, put on Stan Bush's You Got the Touch as Mitch launches in with this cannonball attack. Jerry, you failed, but I will again say you have your pride available to you. If you want to make this a blistering success, you can roll in and throw whatever type of violence you want on these people.
I think Jerry, he's been wanting to kick Dutch's ass since the encounter earlier. Probably some prior stuff too, but especially since then. And he sees him, and he approaches him really confidently, only to have Dutch catch him across the jaw. But Jerry's taken a beating in his day, and it barely phases him. And I would like to use my pride to get that success, and return a blow to Dutch's jaw.
Awesome. So Jerry comes forward, takes the shot, and immediately retaliates with a vicious uppercut. And as this uppercut takes the older kid, it lifts Dutch off his feet, as he was absolutely not expecting you to be able to handle that. He thought he was putting you down, and it ends up he's getting dropped on his ass. And as you come through and do this uppercut, knocking him to the ground, for those of you that are following, go ahead and put on the Jesus and Mary chain as Jerry just busts this guy's ass to the ground. And as you turn and look, Veronica is looking up, and she meets your eyes as she sees you destroy this guy that was just yelling at her. As far as Mitch goes, the cannonball attack works perfectly as it bounces and cracks off of his jaw, the back and hardest part of your head, reaching the bottom 2 teeth of Nee, removing and cracking them out of his mandible, as he immediately grabs the 2 broken stumps of teeth that he now possesses. Chris, who is left standing, sees the 3 against 2 quickly become a 1 against 2 and fucking runs.
So I think this is where George gets into the frame. Yeah, you better run.
If he's running, Sam immediately runs over Veronica.
Yep. You're able to get over, and it's obvious that she's taken some type of blow to the head. It looks like the side of her face is starting to swell up. If Jerry probably has seen this before and felt this before, as have a few of the other wrong side of the market boys. But yeah, as this all goes down, it quickly evaporates as once they get back up, the two boys that were knocked down have no fight left in them, and they run off following Chris. Even numbers against the two that just beat the shit out of them. They run off. You have your bikes and you have Veronica.
And we
What are you guys
have
gonna do?
a sweet new handshake that Mitch and I need to do in predator fashion.
It's the dope arm clasp.
Yes.
The bro clasp. Yeah, I think that's how, because I'm on the ground, and that's how you pick me up, is you do the pull.
Yes.
Perfect.
Mitchell, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, the razor blade
So, yeah.
snap.
Right. Gonna have me some fun tonight. As you stand up and you're able to kind of help Veronica out of the area as you guys kind of start to leave, you see Chris, the boy that ran off, stumbles back into the area. And as soon as you all turn to look, you realize that he has what looks like vomit down the front of his shirt, and his jeans are incredibly dark around the crotch area and running down his thighs, where it's obvious that he's pissed himself. And his eyes are wide as he's just kind of dead-legged walking towards your group.
Easy there, friend.
What more do you want?
He's just walking directly towards you all.
I think Jerry will take the initiative and step forward, like to grab him make an attempt to grab him by the throat. You think I'm afraid to get dirty?
This boy kind of, as soon as you step forward, his eyes, you can see that his mouth's moving, but nothing's coming out. As when he gets closer, you see the vomit, and you also see along the dark side of his face, it's almost completely crimson in blood.
Apparently Jerry is afraid to get dirty. He's gonna put up his hands and step back.
The hell? What?
So does he look traumatized? Because that's something George, I think, would be able to pick
Fucking
up on.
sounds traumatized.
Fuck yes.
Chris?
He starts walking again towards the direction of the mall.
Sam has no time for this, so she's still trying to get Veronica back up the hill to the car.
George, that's what George is gonna say. Like, guys, we gotta get out of here.
What happened to that kid?
I don't know.
He
Not
probably
good, though.
deserved it anyway.
Yeah, I'm not saying he didn't, but what? Did you see his face?
Do you see her?
Yeah, but he ran and came back covered in puke and pee.
And I think it's best for us to get out of here then. If there's something that made him look like that.
I hate to say it, but I'm with her.
Let's go.
Okay.
Guys, quickly retrace your steps, those of you that are leaving. And Rob and Ben, you would quickly cross their position.
I think Mitch is the last one to go, and he's like, as everyone's leaving, he's kind of like looking over his shoulder at whatever the hell could be in the woods, or in the scrapyard rather, and he begins to walk back with everybody.
Okay, Mitch, since you are, as the narrative states, the last one to leave, as the group begins to head up the switchback, and you several paces behind turn and kind of cast a glance back towards the scrapyard. for a moment at the top of one of the big piles, illuminated against the black sky of Garrett, Maryland, you see a flash of 2 red pinpricks, and you hear, and in your mind, it's using the tree. And that's where we'll end this session of Atari Twilight.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's a predator.
It was a predator.
Oh, it's a freaking predator.
That was awesome. I just want to. Can we just play this for like 9 more hours? Is that okay? Like, you guys don't have jobs. Quit your job.
Yeah, let's just keep playing. Never want to stop.
Oh fuck!
Uh,
That was a good time. That was awesome. Man. Yeah. Seriously though, 9 more hours? Like, I'll quit my job right now. Mike, you didn't even like yours. Let's just all quit.
let's just play till I have a beard again.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that
Oh,
works out for
man.
me.
That was awesome. That was everything I wanted this to be. That was perfect. So, man. Yeah, so that was super awesome. That was an amazing introduction, Greg. Thank you so much for running this. I cannot wait for the remaining 14 weeks. There's already shipping happening in chat, which I find hysterical. So let's go around, introduce our cast and crew, get your thoughts on the show, and then let's get the hell out of here. We'll start with Greg. Greg, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of the first episode of Atari Twilight?
Greg Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. I loved it. I love these characters. I love how all of them were so fleshed out so quickly, which is really super rare in a streamed RPG. It usually takes a lot of time, but I thought the dynamic between Sam and George was great, and I really thought the dynamic between all of the wrong side of the track boys was fantastic. The immediate Jerry, Rob, Mitchell thing, the triangle, was utterly perfect. I just started thinking about all these things I want to see happen as a viewer, as I have the best seat in the house. Can't wait. You guys are fantastic. Really, really enjoy being a part of all of this. But can't wait till next week, man.
Sweet. Guys, if you're not following Greg on all of his adventures, go check it out if you like this. He does various things on D&D over on Will's channel. He also does Conan, Call of Cthulhu, and I'm missing one that I can't think of, Firefly, right? Nailed it.
That's it. Yep.
Also, apparently random video game streams that I'm not aware of where he plays high school boys and girls. So, go watch those. Let's jump over to Haley. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of today's episode?
We're back to the waving. It's me. Hi guys, I am the great Haley. I had such a good time. Like, oh my god, that was such an amazing game. I liked how well me and me and other Mike's characters clicked so well together. I loved it so much. I liked the Mitch and Sam banter. I ship it too, guys. It's okay. But yeah, I'm a full-time variety caster on The Great Haley. You can find me as The Great Haley on all social media, so Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, etc. I stream. It's weird right now. I just got off of a 2-week hiatus due to mental health. Take care of yourself, guys. Really, it's really, really, really important. So I had my first comeback stream today, and I'll be coming back tomorrow for a real long stream. So best way to know when that's going to be going down is Twitter. My schedule's kind of weird right now, but yeah.
Sweet.
By the way, I'm just going to say this as a viewer. The time when you pulled Sam down to, that's a movie shot right there. The two of you underneath the chairs of the movie theater, waiting, like talking to each other.
Yeah,
that's a camera shot in and of itself.
That's
He's going backwards too,
yeah.
And they're facing each other, moving under the chair.
That's my entire goal for this. Is to like, first of all, like I love Free League. I love all of their games. This is by far my favorite one. But this, I'm just gonna jam pack this with as much like cinematic things that reference other 80s things. That's my goal, is to make this as 80s movie as possible. I'm all about it. Guys, if you're not following Haley, please go do that. Awesome variety cast, awesome community over there, and great role player on other channels. let's jump over to her best friend, George. Mike, who are you? How did you get so good at role-playing yourself? And where can we find you on the internet?
Hi, so I'm Other Mike. You can find me on Twitter at @BaloneySlap. I'm playing George Butts, popular boy. I fucking love Tales from the Loop. I really do love Free League's Year Zero system in general. I love how freeform it is. It's great. So I definitely, not gonna lie, this is one of the few games where like I'm 100% invested in the game. I'm not like on Reddit or something else. Sorry, I just can't pay attention to things. But Greg, you're nailing it. You're keeping everybody involved. It's great. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I closed tabs. I was like, get out of here, internet. I don't need your shit.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's jump over to Frags. Frags, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what did you think of today's episode? Nailing it so far. So far, so good with the no voice happening.
You're
Still
right.
muted.
I had a most wonderful time. Greg, you're amazing. You're awesome. You're everything I wish I could be as a human being. But for real, like you just from the intro alone, I was like, oh, okay, so we're bringing A game. All right. So
Speaking of A game though, like real quick, you and that stutter though, like, and then the Optimus Prime voice, like A+, dude.
Stop. No, it's been really fun. Like the stutter thing, I don't know when that came to me. I knew I was at work one day and I was just I knew I had to have a thing. And my character I have to have a defining thing. If I'm gonna be weird, what's weird about me? And it's not just the stuttering that's the weird part. That's a normal human function. It's the talking like a robot under pressure. That you know, when to bring it in, when to bring it out. That's real fun. And the story, the way that this, I didn't actually expect it to be the Predator or Predator of some sort. And then when that happened, I was like, okay. I don't know if I should have hid. I could have been a part of all this. No, but it was really fun. And you know, you will find that later down the road. I can be kind of chicken shit. Rob's
What do you mean later?
Rob's a bit of a scaredy boy.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, you can find me on Twitter, on here, KW Frags, all things. But yeah, I had a wonderful time. It's unfortunately I'm not going to be here next week. I will be flying back home. So, but I'll be here the week after that.
We'll find out just how much of a chicken shit Rob is.
Yeah. Greg, I give you permission to play my character and be as chicken shit as possible.
Perfect. And last, but definitely not beardless, least, Bitters, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of today's episode?
He's Bitters, the other Mike me.
Yeah, the other Mike.
Yeah.
Mike
I'm
the
Mr.
lesser.
Bitters, and I only hate Mike tonight.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, this was awesome. I'm always happy to revisit the 80s. And I'm a big fan of any system where favorite song is a character trait. It's just so big for me. But I would like to point out I'm scared of the future because the last time I played in a campaign where Frags' character was a coward and I was a big tough guy, I got ate by a vampire. So
True. I did eat you as a vampire. Perfect. I can't wait to see that happen in this game. Awesome, guys. This has been so much fun. I just want to remind you guys, we are been so fortunate as to have been sponsored by the Dice of Rolling. They are a complete set of polyhedral dice featuring optimized quantities for 5th edition, so you can roll all of your fireball dice at once. They're also color-coded so that you just know, instead of what size that dice is, oh, the red ones, the blue ones, the green ones, etc. If you guys use coupon code UMG, you get a discount, and you also kick back some cash to us so we can buy some dope new overlays and some dope new artwork from Fuji, who nailed these portraits that we have. If you haven't seen the portraits here and on Facebook, not Facebook, well, I guess Facebook too, and Twitter, go check those out. They are outstanding. The art is amazing, and I can't wait to hire her for more stuff. And with that, we have a new show starting tomorrow called The North Seat. That's run by Ethan. He wrote the game. It's available on Drive-Thru. We'll be posting links for that. On Thursday, we have another new game called Island in the Sky. That's run by Jacobuddy, who also wrote that. And we'll be posting that, I believe, on Drive-Thru. So come check those out. Some new D&D 5e stuff. If you guys want to be apprised of all of our information, follow us on Twitter. Join us in the Graveyard on our Discord. And let's go raid our friends Dungeons and Distractions, because they're pretty dope guys. And I think they're playing Blades in the Dark right now, which is a game that Greg and I are very familiar with. Also, Mike. So go give those guys a raid and send them all of your hot sticky raid love. And from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.